Deep in an underground secret Pacific Island lair, Pop Culture Minefield presents Saturday Morning Funtime. This is the Comic Relief Crusader telling you to get your morning cereal ready, because here we go.
Are we started? Oh, good morning. Saturday morning fun time.
I'd like to think that we have. I really do.
And Keith is alive.
He lives. He's alive. He's alive.
This episode is brought to you by Obi-Wan Jeebus. Scientists, I love these fake memes. Scientists at Stanford University have reconstructed this 3D model of how Jesus of Nazareth might have looked.
Hello there.
My favorite one was earlier in the week. It's like scientists at Stanford University have created through 3D software based off of information from the Bible what Joseph, Jesus's earthly father, looked like, and it was Andre the Giant.
It's true, though.
I love stupid memes. I really do. I want to say good morning to everybody that's here. Monkey Jeebus, Werewolf Jeebus was number one in the show today. Thank you, Monkey Jeebus. Come again. And that's what his girlfriend says to him all the time, too. Penny, good morning. Bill Barkley from Scotland is here. AF Watcher 88, War Monkey. And Baron actually wrote one of Gary's favorite monkeys. Thank you. War Monkey is actually, because I don't get to hang out with War Monkey, but if I had to go to war, that's the monkey I would take with me. And I love Monkey Jeebus, but I don't want to go to war with somebody who's like high and in a good mood. It's like, I need you angry. I need you ready to kill. Oh, dude, man, chill.
Did you see this new figure I got?
Yeah. Keely Chow is here and Dragon Ruse. Good morning, everybody. Glad you're here. Any comments I should go over? Martin?
No, not yet. We're in the greetings phase still.
Spoilers discussion will be at the last part of the episode, AF Watcher. I did see that. Again, Keith and I, any of us who have seen the movie, we're going to unleash, and I will put a warning up before we do it, where we go into detail about the film. But I'd like to get into some DC news, too. Let's get us down to normal size, because a lot of stuff is happening right now. And I actually, because I'm not a fan of James Gunn being in there, but I got to tell you that if anybody could bring about that crossover that we used to love as kids when DC and Marvel would cross over in the comics. If anybody can make that happen, it would be James Gunn because of his friendship with Kevin Feige and the fact that he continues wanting to work with Kevin Feige and vice versa. Feige likes working with him. And it sort of reminds me of that line from Star Trek VI, about Shatner going to the Klingon homeworld. And the line was, only Nixon could go to China, which is a great line. It's true, because Nixon was the guy that brought those things about. Very good at detente. I think Nixon gets a hard line. And I love it when people don't know their history, that Nixon was never removed from office. He was not impeached. And you've learned now that being impeached doesn't mean you get removed from office. So people who don't know their history, stop doing that. It's just getting the back of your hand slapped is what an impeachment is. Mm-hmm. If you're a lawyer, it can cost you your license. That's true. Mm-hmm. But I'm sick to death of lawyers in Washington. Just sick to death of them. I love lawyers. I love the law, but I cannot stand lawyers as politicians. They should be on the other side of it. They should not be on the making laws side. But Six is here this morning too. Good morning, Six. Well, Zax is here. I just saw him pop in too. Holy crap. Good show. Good audience. So we're going to get into some DC news first.
Which is always happy news.
Yes. And you're going to lead us through that because you're the guy staying on top of it. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to double check you. And I'm going to open up Geekosity magazine. Make sure we cover all of that. And if you guys like getting your news fresh and worthwhile and interesting, go to geekositymag.com. Geekositymag.com has all your latest scoops, news, rumors. They also have reviews now. And Mikey, for now, doesn't play nice all the time. He sometimes comes across with some very acidic reviews. And that's what I like about Mikey. So what kind of news do you want to talk about first, Keith? Keith?
Fell asleep.
Keith?
Let's get into a small overview of what we've gotten so far. Look, what you have in this deal with James Gunn is really the best of both worlds, given the circumstances. For the longest time, you've had a lot of people walking around basically saying probably one of the most stupid things you could say, which is you're going to go out and get a Kevin Feige. That is not possible. Seriously, that is not possible. The chances of you finding another person working in the business that has that combination of what you would need in order to get the kinds of things that you need from a Kevin Feige out there are just about insane to calculate. So this particular type of deal is the best one that you could actually hope for, because now what you have are a producer with a lot of experience, mainly in comedy and horror, and a director with a lot of experience and the capability of shocking and surprising in a good way, with the depths of his experience and what he is able to accomplish. And I think this really is the second time that Warner Brothers has attempted to do it, but this is the first time that I think it'll work, because the last time was with Jeff Johns. And all he was a comic book writer, but he was a comic book writer without any real Hollywood experience, even though he had trained along with Kevin Feige. You left
out an important part, though, Keith.
Yeah.
That he's not a good writer.
You know what? You and I disagree about one thing when it comes to Jeff Johns, which is I still think Jeff Johns could accomplish so much if he were to freaking go back to DC right now and take it over and pull a Stan Lee circa 1960 and just basically write that ship. Toss out all the idiots that have been running DC Comics into the ground, and for the next 5 to 10 years, just clean it up. At least make it workable again. Make it serviceable again. But that's going to get us off topic.
We'll stick to it. We'll stay on track here. Good morning, Alex Moore. And Wolverine, I'm where you're at. Keith knows how I feel. I don't trust James Gunn any further than I could spit him, and I'd never have that man in my mouth.
Phrasing.
Yeah,
Gary, I'm confused about your metaphor. What are you trying to tell us?
I would never put James Gunn in my mouth, or any gun, or somebody that named anything Gunn.
Moving on.
Whoa, what happened here? We have two Keiths. Keith?
Hello? You hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God, James Gunn.
Are you okay? Did you
I'm good.
Did you split personalities?
I think I did.
Yeah, that was really weird. There was suddenly two versions of you in here. That was weird. But
I think he's a clone.
You think I'm a clone? Well, then I'm an upgrade.
So,
Keith 2.0.
Anyway, so November 1st is when James Gunn takes over. And while we're still, I'd say, another year to 2 years away from seeing any kind of effect of what James Gunn is going to be able to accomplish heading up DC Studios, we are looking at some of the changes from the last administration, some of which, though, have been modified by David Zaslav since he has been running Warner Brothers since April. Okay, you got to remember all of these changes since April of this year, and look how much they've accomplished. Now, James Gunn, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh,
Yep.
James Gunn right now is looking at becoming someone that's going to have to put the Justice League back together. He's going to have to walk a serious tightrope with fans and with people that work at Warner Brothers. He's going to have to figure out a way of merging the Snyderverse characters with the characters that are being brought in under Dwayne Johnson, okay? And then with whatever else he may come up with and some of the characters that he's looking at. Now, we can only speculate as to what he would like to do and what he's looking for as far as other directors and writers that he would bring in, okay? And while there are those who might be a little apprehensive, you got to understand, while Alan Horn is there, Alan Horn is not an employee of Warner Brothers Discovery. Okay, he is just an advisor. At this point, Zaslav really is the only real authority that James Gunn has to worry about. You please him, you're doing well. Okay, for me, the most disturbing thing in this point is the fact that Greg Berlanti still seems to be associated with Warner Brothers. That is much worse than anything that you could consider from James Gunn at this point. The complete retooling of the Green Lantern series for HBO Max is a disturbing development since it's not been canceled. So what they're going to do is concentrate fully on Jon Stewart. So here's something that nobody else has asked since they started this story. What does this mean for the actor that he had lined up to play the character in his own version of everything anyway? Because nobody else has asked that. You realize this, right?
yeah.
That he might be using this as a way to keep the Arrowverse alive. And if he casts the actor that I'm thinking that he's going to cast in this, then it's really just more Arrowverse crap.
Yeah, which does not sound interesting to me at all.
And that's the thing. Why even keep Berlanti around, who's already proven that he's not really the authority that a lot of fans thought that he was?
No, I
He
agree.
knows how to dig into things, but for the most part, as you and I said earlier this year, Berlanti seems more or less like he's a Wikipedia DC fan.
There you go. Exactly. You know, it's like that superficial fan that only likes things that he read about, not that he actually sat down and read the comics or anything.
Well, I would
call that putting the time in, you know, to being a nerd.
I would say that he is a fan of the Flash, but that his understanding of the Flash isn't really that deep. He found an emotional hook and has been repeating that same hook for every season of the show, almost every episode.
And you know, I do because this is something else that just popped up over on Geekosity is that they mentioned that Superman and Lois might be on the chopping block,
which is
I
dumb.
think it's a mistake. It's a mistake.
It's the only thing that
But
he's
they're
done.
laying it out as Greg Berlanti's Superman and Lois. It's like,
Yeah.
that is a marriage in name only. You know, Greg Berlanti has very little to do with that show. You know, but when they talk about it, they bring it up again. and it's right here on Geekosity. Here, I'll just go ahead and show you. Let me share. I'm kind of bothered by this shit. And I like Joy Lynn. I think she's a good writer. But putting Greg Berlanti's name before Superman and Lois is weird to me in this article. But do you mind if I read this real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Again, written by Joy Lynn Francisco. I'm not reading that name right there because I'm not going to butcher it because I will butcher it. Greg Berlanti's Superman and Lois. See, again, that bugs me. May be ending soon. Granted, the CW renewed Superman and Lois for a third season. However, Nexstar recently purchased the network. In addition, the new ownership prefers cheaper unscripted fare. Although Warner Brothers Discovery will still create content for the CW, that arrangement becomes uncertain after 2023. I'm not going to go into the rest of this article because I know where it's going, and I'm just going to tell you this. Warner Brothers has to pull it from CW. It's obvious. This is the best thing they've got going right now, past the Winchesters.
Yeah.
They need to pull the show off CW and make it an exclusive DC show on HBO.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but there are a lot of stuff that they have already that has already been produced, even outside of Greg Berlanti. That's good stuff. Okay. For instance, Berlanti did do some things right. You know, the first 2 seasons of Arrow, the first 4 seasons of The Flash, Doom Patrol, and Superman and Lois, to me, are really the only things worth anything related to Greg Berlanti and what he's made, in my opinion. Because the rest of it
works because, and I've told you, it's got problems in its writing. And it's constantly trying to push the envelope for a mixture of cringe and laughs.
Well, it's got that it actually has a very rudimentary version of the kind of humor that was very successful with making Peacemaker work.
Yeah, it's cheeky. It's cheeky, and it needs to not be related, like Peacemaker needs to not be related to anything canon. And Doom Patrol is a fun show, but it should not be in the main DC universe. It should be in its own pocket of non-canon comedy.
Now, as far as things outside of Berlanti, I still give the highest praise to Pennyworth. If you've not sat down to watch that show and you are a fan, especially of the early shows like the original Avengers British series, this show is for you. Yeah, it's related to Batman, but it is a really, really good homage to the kinds of British television shows that a lot of us who are slightly older remember and had a lot of fun with. It is a really good show that just happens to be set or loosely related to one of the characters related to Batman. That's it.
Yeah. To comment on what you said, AF Watcher, I kind of agree. I don't believe DC Comics is on life support. I believe it's dead. It's dead in the water and doesn't know it's dead. It's like that swimmer that got his legs eaten up by sharks that is out there 20 miles off the shoreline. Ain't going to make it to shore. What's going to end up happening, and this is going to be monumental when it does happen, and David Zaslav is going to have to do something with DC Comics. And what happens to DC Comics happens to Marvel Comics.
Now, there is something that has developed within the last few days, and thanks to the guys at Midnight's Edge, who
is that?
Well, that would be Andre and Tom, our good buddies.
We know them.
Yes, we do.
They have a show.
They have a show, and they have actually had Paul Shadow on, who we've actually had on our show, and they've had Script Doctor on, and all of them together were talking, and they revealed something that I'd never really thought about. And part of which I didn't know, that it seems that Zaslav is actually a huge DC Comics fan. He loves Superman
is what I heard.
Superman is the character that he loves. And
he loves the hopeful Superman, by the way.
Well, it's really just Superman, not the recent version that we've gotten from the comics.
Honor Superman.
He likes that character, and he wants to see that version of the character Oh, it's Tim.
Okay,
Hey, Tim.
if you think that was accidental, that John Williams Superman theme played over Henry Cavill,
Yeah,
you got another thing coming, my friend.
at least.
That was not accidental. And it was said by Snyder himself that he was forced to use the music for Man of Steel. He wanted to use John Williams music because it's the single greatest identifying theme to a hero other than the Imperial March and the theme for Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Let's not forget Flash Gordon.
Who?
Flash Gordon.
Flash.
Is he in DC? I don't know who that is.
Well, no, we're just talking about iconic themes. Well, actually, yeah, he was in DC. There was a DC comic run.
Please go ahead. Explain more, Baron. Derail us, you motherfucker.
Well, someone has to.
Look, ultimately, what we have here is a lot of stuff that really needs to be.
Oh shit, he's black.
Oh my gosh.
Don't
you
start
done?
with the blacks again.
Are you
I
done?
broke you the other day. I broke you. He couldn't even talk for like 10 minutes. Just if you have not seen Thursday's House of the Dragon episode, just before the end of the first hour, watch me break Keith on camera. Broke him. I nearly broke Anima, and I think I did break John. I think I broke you, didn't I?
That was
Nah,
really
you got-
funny.
You got close.
Yeah, you just were like Mike Douglas at the end of Falling Down. You were like, I'm the bad guy? What?
Yeah, Keith looked like he couldn't even come back on
No,
camera
he just kept
again.
falling off camera, and he finally, when he came back up, he was just like, I can't breathe. I'm telling you, sometimes I shit gold. I do.
The hell you say? All I can say is Keith looks like he's on top of the world there.
He is. He's floating out on. He's doing Superman thing where he's standing there and listening to every sound on Earth and trying to decipher where he's needed.
If you're there, start doing the time warp spin.
Needed, Keith.
Let's get
Live
us back
from
to
the-
Tahiti.
Live from the Justice League Watchtower.
Oh, hey, Brandon.
God damn it! I moved him here for a reason. Jesus Christ.
Hello, Brandon.
Brandon, I don't know how long you're with us today, but I wanted to say something very special. Happy birthday, dude.
Yes, happy
Oh,
birthday
thank
to
you.
big
Happy
man.
birthday.
I appreciate it.
So
birthday,
you
Brandon.
finally got
and Keith's wife had birthdays this week. It's great, man.
you finally turned 21, didn't you, Brandon?
Yeah, 21 years ago. So I've doubled that. So I'm 21 again.
But does that mean you're grown up now and you're going to stop watching cartoons?
Oh, hell no. I ain't going to stop watching cartoons.
No.
Once a
Anybody-
weeb, always a weeb.
Anybody that says that cartoons are for kids, A, needs to have their ass kicked, and B, needs to have my foot shoved up their ass. So a double dose of ass kicking. So
Are you going to oil up that foot first, or are you just going to go right in?
it's going in dry, man. It's going in dry.
Bite the pillow. Bite the pillow.
Wow.
So how is everybody doing today? It's I've seen a few people today, Baron and Shanotsky and Mags. Hello, Mags.
Hi, Brandon.
She's eating pizza.
No, it's all gone. It's
Oh,
crushed.
it's all good. Okay.
And of course, Das Wolfen, good to see you. And
Hello.
Keith and Gary, how the hell are you?
Not unwell, thank you.
Is that
I'm
anything
sorry.
like unalive?
It's an old George Carlin joke. I'm moderately neato. I'm not unwell, thank you.
What, George Carlin? He was just here.
Gary,
The back door has been breached.
Penny.
By Penny.
Penny broke the back door barrier.
Penny.
Hi, Penny.
Oh my goodness.
You're strong. I'm gonna go check the back door. Back door.
That show is so stupid yet so funny. It's so damn good. As far as American TV goes, that's about as good as it gets right now.
And it's found its way back. That's the thing. The new episodes are about as funny as they used to be. So for those of you that still have not gone back to those new episodes, you should. It's classic stuff, but it's updated for today. And they've even found some new ways to just bring in some really classic like situations to the show.
Okay, I want to really get to this real quick.
Okay.
There you go. Got some Beatles for you. What in the living fuck just happened?
Oh,
What?
24/7.
The man returns.
Hold on a second.
And the myth, the
Hold on.
legend.
I haven't gotten to do this in a long time. Yo, man, that shit's cool.
Who the hell is that guy?
Where have you been?
Hey, what's up, man?
You.
The hero
what's up?
returns.
man? Hey.
Yeah,
24. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I wanted to pop on last week, but you guys were away. So now that you guys are back home.
I kept seeing you were popping videos up here and there, and I'm like, it's 24. I keep talking about you to Keith, going, man, where did he go?
Some of the things he said
Did
is
you get
actually
moved?
good.
Are you moved now?
Yeah, this is
New
the
location.
new headquarters.
New headquarters. The new
Very
Justice
nice.
League headquarters. Are you still in Georgia? Where are you at? Where you at?
Houston.
You're in Houston.
Wow, that's a change. Yeah.
That is a big change. You liking it there?
Yeah, I've always been here.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were in Georgia.
No.
That's somebody else.
No, for some reason I thought you were in Atlanta. Okay, so
Houston, Texas, always, man. Yeah,
are you an Oilers fan?
used to be when they were around. Warren Moon. Yeah.
Yeah. Technically, they're not around anymore, but there are.
None of the teams that we like, Keith, are here. Well, Pittsburgh Steelers, thank God, are still here. Until a bunch of like oil rig workers refer to it as a racist team and make them change their name.
Yeah. Who the hell knows?
You're talking about the Washington Commandos.
Yeah, I'm not even going to go into this.
You mean the Redskins?
That's what they're called now.
That will always be the Redskins. I don't care what they call them. They're the Redskins.
They're all they're actually called the Commanders or something like that. But I
The
call
Washington
them
Commanders, and they're terrible.
I call them the Commandos because going commando.
They'd probably win more games if they went commando.
I'm saying this right here and now, Mags. You have the dirtiest mind of any girl I know. Absolutely.
God bless you.
Oh, except for
man.
Anima.
I love it too.
And we'd love you for it. Thank you so very much, Max. We love it.
Man.
I'm surprised she hasn't asked 24 if he's commando.
I mean, I only see half of y'all. I see the upper torso. I just, can only guess.
Well, it's sort of like, I got to say this. I miss her so much. My old librarian from high school.
A librarian?
She was a librarian, and we stayed friends until her death 2 years ago. And she, I told the story. I said the first week I was in school at James Monroe High School, I spent a lot of time in the library. I was one of those nerds. I liked going to read books. And I would walk in there, and her name was, Mrs. Mount, and she was always behind the counter. The library, that tall counter in the library. And I told her, I said, I had this funny image that there was somebody down below you working you like a Muppet, that you weren't even human. You were like, just because I could only see her from here up. And I got that. And she's like, you are so weird, but that is so funny, that I had this stupid, weird image of my fucking librarian being a Muppet.
We are all Muppets.
The only reason why I call a Washington team Commandos anyway is because I'm not a big Washington fan regardless. So I just kind of make fun of them.
Well, I grew up in Fredericksburg, Virginia, which is 48 miles south of D.C. And so we were expected to be Baltimore Oriole fans because of our proximity to Baltimore,
Mhm.
and the Washington Redskins. Now, I did root against Dallas every time they played the Redskins, but the fact is, I have always been and will always be a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And period. I think it's one of the greatest teams. Rocky Bleier, Jack Ham, Jack Lambert, Terry Bradshaw. That was my team.
Mean Joe Green.
Mean Joe Green.
Oh,
Yes.
Mean Joe, yeah.
Yep. The team of teams, the 70 Steelers.
Look at this.
I was
the
in the
birthday
seven-
boy. He's giving the gift.
Yeah, don't do that, dude. But thank you so much for being a member.
Oh, you bet.
I do want to ask you real quick before we move on with 24. What was your show about today?
Oh, what did we talk about today? Oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Batman's head on a lance. No, we we talked about some of our favorite horror, not horrors, horror anime. Had some good suggestions and talked some current season anime and some of the shows that were really surprising me. In fact, before I take off here, let me share this real quick, and I won't show the videos, but I want to show you the 3 that really have caught my attention, more so than some of the others. So, Martine, if you'll be so kind as to bring up my screen there. Thank you. Now, the first one, besides, the given, there are certain shows that are given they're going to be great. My Hero Academia, it's a given. Yatsura, it's a given, because it's Rumiko Takahashi, and she's just super fantabulous. If you love the original show, if you love the original manga run, you have to watch this. It's so damn good. And of course, Spy Family, it's awesome. 3 that really has caught my attention is Akiba Maid War. Think of it as going to a part of Tokyo where there's a ton of maid cafes that are themed. But in order to keep things going, it's basically run by the Yakuza, and every single one of these maids are natural-born killers. It is the weirdest dichotomy, and it's funny as hell. You gotta see it. Now, the second that has really caught my attention. You wouldn't think being reincarnated as a sword would be a good thing. But in this case, it is. And with a little bit of help, a little black cat by the name of Fran finds the man who was reincarnated as a sword. This one, it started off a little slow in the first episode, because it's mostly just explaining how Teacher, which is the name that he's given in this world, how he works himself up to become an OP sword, but then gets stuck in the ground where it sucks out the mana, so he can't lift himself back out of the ground. So he's there waiting months for somebody to come walk by and to pick him up. And who happens to do it? A little black cat named Fran, who is a slave who is trying to get away from the slavers. Excellent show. It's nice to see something where you get a story about 2 characters who need each other, who don't start off powerful. They have to overcome obstacles and the ways that they work together to do that. And it's really good. I really, really like it. And the third show.
I need to interrupt just for a second. I want to welcome Dr. Dragon, the greatest Saturday morning cartoon villain name ever. Alex Moore. Ford is back, COD. It's good to see you this third time. Welcome to the show, my friend. Tim's Talk is here. Tim, how you doing, buddy? Our good friend, Script Doctor, is here. Anima Confusa, love of my life, is finally here. She's in the chat, not on the show. Joe's Atmosphere, who is not the love of my life, but he is a good friend. Tree Rock Creations is here, a good friend of Keith's and mine, and John's, here in Springfield. I do believe that is Matt, right? Tree Rock Creation, that is Matt? John, Keith, anybody?
I'm not 100% sure.
I think so.
I think that's okay. And then I will see. That's it. That's all that's here. I wanted to welcome them to the show. And you have the floor again.
I would like to address this one.
What one?
Thank you, Baron, who's part of the chat, he's celebrating 8 months of membership.
I thought you were going to say sobriety.
Only 8 minutes. 8 minutes of sobriety.
Yes, I am celebrating 20 seconds. Wait, hold on. No. I can't celebrate anymore. Here goes. Yeah. Booze in the morning is good. Wolverine 626 is here too. Good morning.
Man, a lot of good people here today.
Yeah, Real Weight Nation, dude. Everybody's popping in. It's good to see you guys. All right, man. Get back to it, Brandon.
In the last show
go,
that
Brandon, go.
Yes. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go the real Brandon, which is me, not the potato for brains, but me.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Corn Pop's gonna mess you up, son.
Do you need two scoops of ice cream?
Yes, I need my 2 scoops of ice cream. And a nice long nap.
Of
And
Anima
little kids
Confusa flavor.
would run their hands up and down my legs and watch the hair go up and down.
All right, dude, get off the corn. We're doing a show.
Yeah. The gaff machine never stops with that, man. It never has. But back to a much better subject. The third show that I'm still watching that I've been really surprised with is called Management of a Novice Alchemist. And I make preference to this. What?
This is horror?
No, these are current. These are current season anime.
Okay.
Now, I think this one speaks to me more because I have girls for my children. I don't have any boys, so this is a very girl power heavy show. But it's done in a way where no one gets put down. Everyone works together to build themselves up. And if you happen to be lacking, you have your friends there to help you. So the main character is the front gal here. She's the novice alchemist. She was an orphan. But at the orphanage that she was at, they had a traveling alchemist come by, and she says, I want to do what you do. And so she starts her quest of going to school, gets an apprenticeship with the best alchemist in the capital city, passes on her first try and her only try, and does it with a spell that's about 5 levels above her pay grade. So they're all super impressed by what she can do and her ability to think on her feet. So her master helps her get started in the world by buying a nice, inexpensive shop out in the country. And it, of course, needs, spruced up and all that. So she's got to figure out how to open her shop, how to make money. And if you want an economic lesson on the economic realities of life, period, this show is it. Because it's in the 3rd episode, the blue-haired gal, she comes in almost dead and her arm chopped off. And her friends are saying, please save her. And she's like, well, I can. How much money do you got? Because this is going to cost you a lot. If you depend upon what level of service you want, either a little, we can make her better, or a lot in fully restoring her. So they're like, we'll pay anything. So they do. And when she gives them the bill, they are content and they agree. So her in the back and her agree to work with the novice alchemist, Sarasa, to pay off their debt. And they all become fast friends. And of course, there's tea parties and all that stuff. But it's a fun show. It's not too heavy, but it's also not too childlike. It's just a fun, overall, girl power-ish type of show. And as I said, I'm a little more partial to it because I have girls, but it's good. And then if you want to go full on shonen, we of course have Chainsaw Man, and that's just, graphic violence and gore all over the place.
Nice.
Exactly. More along the lines of what 24 is showing off there.
Of you, and I think, was it you, Mags, that was talking about this?
What?
So one of you girls were talking about this the other day, and I know it was an anima, so I thought it might be you. The Chainsaw Man.
That wasn't me. It might have been somebody else.
Well, I'm just saying it was one of the girls that was talking about it with Brandon the other day, and I'm like, oh my god, yeah, I've got to check this out.
Yeah, Chainsaw Man is.
He has.
I think it's been overhyped.
Motivation. He has the best character motivation ever. He wants.
That's true. He does. Yeah. He does have the best character motivation.
I do want to tell you that I do have a favorite anime horror film, and it was from the 80s. It was almost when we came to the 90s. And I'm just going to show it to you real quick here. I'll remove all of us. No, I did love that show, though. But this is a movie.
Wicked City.
With the fate of the world lying in the balance, his task is simple: protect a man's life for 24 hours.
I'm putting you in charge of guarding him.
Who is this person?
Mr. Giuseppe Meyer. Guard him without fail, because as far as the radicals are concerned, if they can kill him, they'll control everything.
Trust supernatural.
Oh, wow.
His only hope that his new
Oh.
she looks. Top agents from opposite worlds. They're the last.
Oh yeah, that's from the same writer as Vampire Hunter D. Like they're all books, by the way.
It's I Come in Peace mixed with the X-Files. Wicked City.
Kind of reminds me a little of.
It's also got a little bit of The Thing in it.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Then it also has like a Men in Black kind of thing with
yes, absolutely had the
right.
Men in Black thing. It was one of my favorite. They did a live action version of it, but there's an effed up scene right at the beginning of both the animated and live action where this woman that he's tracking and pretending to want to go to bed with turns into a giant spider with a toothy vagina.
Oh,
Yep.
And it absolutely was nightmare fuel for me for a long time.
It is nightmare fuel for sure. That's a classic, and of course, Urban Vision. May that company rest in peace.
Yeah, I know they're not around anymore. I don't think I'm going to get ganked on that video. I did get a claim against me for yesterday morning's CCR 10 seconds. I only played 8 seconds. 8 seconds of CCR, backdoor song.
Jeez.
8 seconds of the song, and I got a claim against it. So music is a whole different animal. It's no more of that. What is that? What is that? Lobo.
And Dead Man.
Very nice.
The Brave and the Bald.
I'm telling you right now, this is one of the projects that I could definitely see them greenlighting soon. Is a Dead Man film or series, because Peter Safran's backstory. I mean, his all of his projects. He is the main producer on all of Conjuring films. You combine that with the fact that James Wan is still technically a part of what they're doing for DC Studios. Okay, I'm telling you, this is all working out in a way that even most people who consider themselves big fans don't even understand. Peter Safran is a guy that brings in so much. Lobo's back. I had that issue. Lobo was also a character I would like to see them develop. And I would not be surprised if they would redevelop, do some additional work on Blue Beetle for the next movie after this upcoming one, to bring it more in line with the
y'all stop looking at that ass.
Yeah.
No, the ass stays.
Stop looking at that.
That is
it ain't
Lobo's
right.
something that I think that James Gunn could do without a problem.
Yeah.
Well,
you're right
that's
about
the thing. The thing is that James Gunn will not be there to actually make half of these things. He'll be helping to develop things, but it'll really be finding other filmmakers, other writers to come in to make this stuff a reality. Again, he's only signed to do this, I think, for the next 5 years, I think, is the deal. So it's a 5-year deal.
If I'm not mistaken.
4 years. Yeah.
4
so it's
years.
not that long. So he's got a lot to do in a very short amount of time. And there's all these people that are thinking that he's going to do that movie over there and that movie over. No, he's got his own stuff that he wants to do. And that is also a part of the deal that they made with Warner Brothers. Both he and Safran can still go out and make other things. They just happen to be heading this up. So think of it in terms of who are they going to bring in? How are they going to get us from where we are right now to where a lot of fans would want them to be in the next 5 years, and who's coming next after they're done. You know, that's all of this stuff. And again, Mikey also reported about Ben Affleck signing a deal. Looks like Affleck's back. So,
yeah,
you know,
we already knew that because Mikey.
That's what I said. Geek out, Mikey. The thing is that there are a lot of pieces to be put together between now and about a year to 2 years from now. Okay, when we're going to start getting the results of what this deal is going to give us. And look at this.
That'll be good.
I don't care what anyone says. The way they did Brainiac on Krypton was way better.
They did two things right. They did two things right. Lobo and Brainiac.
Yeah, it's way better than what they attempted on Supergirl. I'm sorry. You can even.
I hated the show. Hardcore. I really didn't think it was very well written.
What is that?
But 24? I enjoyed their iterations of Brainiac and Lobo. They were spot on. Wait, what is that? Wait a minute. What is? Kingpin. Yeah.
But, we have to
Well, first of all, Anima Confusa has been a member for 4 months. I think she has been a member longer than she has been in love with me. I think that's true.
She's been in my heart for more than 4 months.
It's simple math. It's simple math. And Anima, I think every day that you're in my life. Let's see, where are we at? Zax has been a member for 13 months. But Zax, how long have you had a member?
Bill, look.
Another big scoop story. Pierce Brosnan says the door is open for more Dr. Fate.
Yes.
Let's hope it's not a back door.
Geez.
Yeah. Okay, Martin, here you go.
Wow.
Like, wouldn't you know that back door would trigger a trap
Hey, you ever seen this one?
And look where we...
Yes.
Hold on, let me see.
Rest in peace, Casey Kasem. You gave us a good meme.
I got to tell you, Casey Kasem gave the nod to Lillard as the voice of Shaggy. And he gave him a nod and said, yeah, the kid's got it. And here's the funny part about Matthew Lillard. When he was playing Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo movies, I was in my 40s, and he's only 3 years younger than me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He was born in 1969.
Wow.
Well, he's a
You're
year older than I
a
am.
teenager in his 30s.
He was playing a teenager.
So
in his
basically,
late 30s.
he's the same age as my. I didn't quite say it.
Here you go.
You know,
your wife. Here you go. Zack Snyder hints at working with Henry Cavill. We already know this is happening. We don't even need these things anymore. But Mikey Sutton was involved with this article, and this one interests me because anybody that knows the comics. The scoop that is confirmed is she is going to be playing Abigail Brand, part of Sword, and she is a mutant, as I recall, right?
Yep.
From the comics, yeah. Here's a good picture. Here you go. Trying to show it. There she is. So if she is also going to play a character, she'll be another one of those crossover actors that's both in Marvel and DC.
I'm telling you, all of this stuff going on with Warner Brothers is basically putting a gun to Kevin Feige's head to get this stuff worked out and get it worked out soon. He does not like to lose. He is a highly competitive guy. He'll make whatever changes necessary in order to keep up with what DC's
How about retconning every single freaking
Phase
Disney
4
Plus show and putting Mephisto in where he belongs? You want to impress me, Feige?
About
Pull that off, motherfucker. Fuck
yeah,
it.
Feige's going to do his best, but I'd have to give the nod to DC Studios because they have more than enough people with a lot of horror cred in their background to be able to pull off whatever horror type of stuff that they could do. And if they were to announce tomorrow that they are going to return Constantine to kind of HBO Max to finish it out with Matt Ryan, that would be the biggest news, period. That would just rule.
What, you don't like Joanna, Keith?
All right, everybody. I love you, but I got to take off. I'm going to lunch with the wife and the in-laws and all that fun stuff. So it's good to see you all. You all take care, and hopefully DC doesn't suck anymore, because I really want to see some good stuff from them.
Before you go, right now, 24 is Paul Lynde.
Paul Lynde, the Brady. I would like to point out that if you're the Brady Bunch, you've made.
Yo, you talking about during his Halloween special?
No, when he was on
Hollywood Squares.
You are in the.
You're in the center square. All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you.
Hey, take care, Brandon. Take care, Brandon.
There you go, man.
Yay! I'm no longer Jim Brady.
Circle gets the square.
Wow.
Now we're the oblongs because we're not an even number. I saw something by Anima that she shit on me in the chat. Where was that? What did she say? Jeebus is doing a bad job when Gary has to backdoor himself. It's true, Monkey. What the hell, dude? You're failing me, buddy. So
you're right, Joes. That was badly done. That has got to be one of the worst makeup jobs I've seen for anything. That job that they tried with the actor who they had to play Brainiac on Supergirl was so bad. I mean, I am seeing cosplay done by kids that are better than what they had on that show. I mean, that was just horrible. Horrible. So Google Brainiac on Supergirl and get that picture of what that actor looked like. It's just basically a horrible wig and some green face paint.
Man,
I'm surprised CW had enough of a budget to afford even that.
Oh, jeez. Oh, that's just that show. All of that stuff just needs to go.
Run.
All of it.
Run. All right, so we need to start gearing up towards Black Adam.
Yes.
As we're reaching the hour here. Any other DC stuff we want to go over before we get into this? Or Marvel?
Look, both of them seem to be attempting to prepare to get better at this point. Okay? Look, I would be surprised if Kevin Feige doesn't call some kind of an emergency meeting or hasn't already with everyone and just said, look, we need to do better. Okay, we need to do way better than what we've been doing up to this point. I mean, they have had pretty much the run of everything, and they found different ways of mucking it up. And now that James Gunn and Peter Safran are running DC Studios, oh my God.
Nice.
Oh, that's a distraction.
You know what this is?
Oh, shit. Hold on.
Oh, heck yes.
You know, this is actually the first Superman vs. Black Adam, actually.
How many issues of that copies do you have of that?
Just this one.
God damn it, because I want to buy it.
Yeah, this is but you know what? I can definitely find another one for little nothing, man. You know how? Come on, man. You know who you're talking to, man. I'm just
that's the hookup right there. That is the hookup, kids.
Yeah. So but this is the first time that they both fought. This is the actual. This is the oversized, like let's say compared to a regular comic book.
Yeah,
I love those supersized. I love those things, dude. Oh,
yeah, this is So if you guys ever wanted to see, what comic book, this is C58, of the giant size comics.
Wow.
This is the first time that they actually
Black Adam fights Superman. Now, it from what I'm hearing, it looks like they are attempting to do something with DC Comics right now.
Right.
That a lot of the Image guys might be tempted to come over to DC for a while and do what they need to do. I don't care what they got to do. They just got to get it done yesterday. Okay. What we have going on at what appears to be DC Comics today is beyond unacceptable. Okay. Everybody, look, I am not easy with advocating people get fired. They just need to clean house. And I'm not just talking about the writers.
Don't even act like you don't celebrate as a Schadenfreude, because a lot of these shitheels out there, they've earned this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They've earned what's coming. And
editors,
I don't feel
group
bad
editors.
for anybody at Twitter. They earned it. And if this ever comes to YouTube, they earned it too.
Ooh.
Because they have been punishing us because of SEAL Team. Our numbers are down to 1/3 in just 3 weeks, what they were 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
And they put a chokehold on our audience. And I absolutely hate them for doing this. I do want to point something out, though. I've got something to show too here, 24.
Good one, 24.
And that is a good one. Actually, my favorite supersized one was one where the Justice League went to St. Louis, and they had the arch in it. I was like, as a kid, that was one of my, I think that was in 73, 74, right in that window. But I want to show this real quick. I have 2 issues of Mark May's comic, Jengar and Shred. This is the one with Richard Bonks in my cover. And it's just it's really sad. It's really sad that I have more copies of that comic than what were sold. So this is going to be rare. If you want one of these 2 copies, I'm going to keep one for myself, the master copy, artist edition. It doesn't have the logo on it. That one's mine. I'm never giving it up. But
it's your boy. You know I want a copy.
Okay. I'm so angry. We're going to have Mark on our show, but it broke my heart. By the way, it was his birthday this week, too. Happy birthday, Mark May, this week. A very good friend, a really sweet guy. But it looks like he's going to give up the dream of doing more comics because nobody bought this comic. But then again, it really wasn't marketed. And I would actually, and I want to talk to him again. I would like to have some on demand for these where people can order it on demand. But I don't know what he's going to do. It broke my heart hearing that I got more copies of the comic than what were sold.
The thing is, you letting folks know that it actually exists, and that's probably what the whole deal is. That when people don't know that, something like that is actually out there, how are they, going to know to go to the store to actually purchase it, man?
Cave girl, in an alternate world created by alien angels, where they've made dinosaurs, and it's in a domed world. So it's really weird. It's like its own version of hell. I'm telling you, I loved working on this comic with Richard. Richard and I did the first issue. He did the artwork, and I did my typical fucking badass colors. And because I love working with Richard Bonk, I love that guy so much. I've gotten to work with him so many times. And by the way, my comic, which I wrote and he drew, I am going to be making the first issue available here within the next month. So in order to pay for him to draw the second issue. So I need people to promote it and get it out there. Buy the comic. It's going to be overpriced because I got to pay Richard to draw the damn next issue. And it is horror, sci-fi, military. Horror, sci-fi, military. And there is a battle between the Special Forces team and mutated mandrills. And if you don't know what a mandrill is, you've not seen Nightmare Fuel yet. Because mandrills are horrifying animals. They exist in the real world. They have 6-inch fangs, top and bottom. They're those crazy-ass baboons with the red asses and the painted face. And I've been up close and personal with those things, and they scare the shit out of me. So when I decided what I'm going to have this special forces team have to fight, I said, I want mutated man-sized mandrills.
Sounds like you guys should be hired to do Challengers of the Unknown in any version that they decide
I will
to do.
let people. If
Frank
you guys-
Grillo.
I'm telling you right now, if you guys want to read the script I wrote, just to get an idea of what's coming in this comic book when it's done, you're welcome to ask me for permission to read my comic script. All I'm going to tell you is Dale Dye, when he read it, was like, God damn. Dale fucking Dye. God damn. Because actually, Julia lost her mind because there's a funny story in it that is a true story that I threw into the middle of the mix. And when she read it, she had a spit take. She blew mimosa out her nose. Because she said, oh my God, you put that in the book. And I went, yeah, I know. She goes, you put that in the book. And I went, yeah, I know. She goes, no, really, you put that in the book. And I went, I know. It's a dick story. And it's funny as hell. Because there's a lot of fucked up shit that happened to my dick since I was a kid.
Here we go.
Oh, you are here now, so you get to shame me for talking about my wiener. Anima Computer, ladies and gentlemen, 24/7. I don't want to say that it's been a while since I've seen you, but did you know that I'm having a relationship with Anima Confusa?
Yeah, I've been watching you. I've been watching you, and ever since she came on the scene, you've been very expressive about.
You do it very expressive.
How you feeling? I ain't mad at you.
Wait, are you trying to say you and Anima are involved?
Okay, Shanatsky, you're not allowed to know.
Wait, I'm the last one in the loop on this one, Gary.
No, you knew about this, Mags.
I'm
think it's real then?
Wait a second, Gary, you've had sex? Oh yeah, that does explain the daughter.
Oh my God.
I'm just gonna pour my soda and just think about what you just said.
Yeah, why don't you stew on that one, Gary?
So, has everyone seen Black Adam?
Well, for instance, I say his wiener. I was getting cured.
Why is it Keith always goes race?
Wait,
You're
wait,
racist, Keith.
wait. Before we
Black Adam.
we get into
Please
Black
don't
Adam.
start it again.
Why is everything
Before
with
we
Black
get
Adam?
into Black Adam.
What about White Adam?
Oh.
I do got to say something because the original Black Adam is white, and I think it's funny that they managed to do this with a guy who's Polynesian and black.
But we have this from Bill. Anyone has some information on this?
I'm the wrong person to ask because I'm not going to watch that.
What's that?
No, but critics and reviewers.
I'm not going to say I hate it, but I hate the idea of it, and I don't want to watch it.
I can talk to it. The reactions from the initial showing of the film this last week have been beyond positive. Okay. Although a majority of them were praising Namor, or at least their Namor representation in the film, and that the young lady whose job it is to replace Tony Stark, i.e. Ironheart, her job seemed to be mainly as comic relief in the movie.
Oh, for real?
That is for real.
Really willing?
Yeah, that's her name. So look, I think
the worst character introductions ever. You're not racist against me, teacher. I need you to be racist so I have a motivation.
I think the film's gonna do fine. I think it's gonna do really well. It's like, I think it's gonna do really well.
Oh, nice.
But
cover.
As far as what effect it's gonna have on Black Adam, I think it's gonna have a tremendous effect on Black Adam. But
and I gotta say, we need to watch the numbers this week because this weekend is a telltale to let us know just how well Black Adam's going to do.
Yeah.
I want to go see it again this weekend, but I have nobody to go with, Keith.
I'd go with you, but I'm up here in Minnesota.
Shut up, Barry.
Should we do our thing
I'm
again?
talking to Keith. Keith, I have nobody to go with.
I'm sorry, dude. When would you like to go?
This weekend.
I will talk to the wife and see. Because
all we need is a matinee. Just go to a matinee.
Okay.
Hey, and sorry, I'm sorry.
Unless they're canceling Phase 5. Look, again, I hate to be the guy that says something that's obvious. The people who brought us Phase 4 are the same people working on Phase 5, and they're promising something different. Same people. Exact same people.
And
actually,
every
people that were supposed to bring us, Phase 4 are the guys that are running DC right now.
Stars. I stopped with Endgame.
And our boy, our man, Kingspurka.
I was thinking it's like James Gunn is running, DC now. But it's funny how Alan Horn is the guy that fired him, and he's also a consultant over there. How does that work?
Well, a lot of people forget that they actually did make up, and that came directly.
Oh, they did.
From that came directly from James Gunn. James Gunn talked about how he got back to Marvel and how he was able to work again, and basically what he said was even though he was fired, he still had meetings with Alan Horn every other day. And the two of them got a chance to know one another. And Alan Horn changed his mind eventually. But personally, the way I think it went is that the day he got fired, Kevin Feige didn't know that was happening. And neither did Bob Iger. And I think Bob Iger did a lot of talking to Alan Horn and basically told him, look, you're messing with my money right now. This guy may have tweeted some things a decade ago, but you're messing with my money right now. And so I think they found a way of bringing him back that wouldn't allow Alan Horn to look bad. And, oh, yeah, that's definitely logo.
That's toxic as shit, huh? Look at it.
That's what we need to get back to with DC Comics, kids.
Oh yeah, I'm for toxic.
And we have different imprints so that you don't have to put that out there and have it quote unquote for kids the way some people are going to try to argue it. We've got Vertigo. That's partly what Vertigo was for. We also have the Black Label Comics. There are so many different ways that James Gunn and Peter Safran can go with this. They had already talked about doing different types of comics before even James Gunn got there. Okay, there's a way. I wouldn't be surprised if they figured out a way of having different writers, different directors, and different actors portray characters that are already present within DC. Which is how you would explain the Batman. That's its own thing. It's going to be set to the side. I wouldn't be surprised if they went ahead and found a way of having a version of a Superman for all seasons and having a different writer, a different director, and a different actor play Superman for that particular production. There are all different ways that we can go. There's enough room and enough stories to go for everything. It's just that the last administration of people that you had were, I was going to say dumb arses, but they were worse than that. It's just they didn't understand at all. They had no concept of what they had. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I still think
fucking Lobo goes to the comic convention.
They skipped through everything. They skipped through decades of stories to get to certain things in Marvel, and now they have nowhere to go. Basically,
that's right. They Kathleen Kennedy'd Marvel is what they did. And then when they started bringing in characters, notice they only brought in characters that were invented within the last 10 years.
By the way, I just looked for it and I found the cover, so I'm going to show you. This is art by Richard and me. I did I penciled it, he inked it, and then I colored it. Here is the cover for our book that I was talking about, the sci-fi horror military comic.
Oh my!
I'm telling you,
that is Matt Best from Black Rifle on there. He agreed to be in the comic, to appear in it.
I'm telling you, Gary, DC Comics ought to get with both you guys and have you do an updated version of the Challengers of the Unknown. That would just be, it's the A-Team meets the X-Files. It would be the ultimate.
I'm too old. I just want to do my comics now. I cannot meet those deadlines. I'm too old. I want to welcome to the show, by the way, Scribelight is here. He's been here. I've meant to mention Lord Thoth. All hail Lord Thoth. Kingsport Cal, our buddy from Tennessee. Adega Outlaw. And, of course, our Muslim uncle. Assalamu alaikum.
So what was your favorite part of Black Adam?
His butt, I think, was my favorite part.
That was Anima's favorite part.
Oh my!
All right, it is official. We have moved into the second hour. That means we are heading home with the show, and we get this.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the middle of the film.
We are now going to speak solely about Black Adam, and
will we be presenting spoilers
in the last half hour?
Okay.
So let's do some non-spoiler discussion. First of all, I had two beefs with the film, and it's always a structure thing. I have a problem with things that don't make sense. And now that I've watched it a third time, I got to tell, or a second time, I got, because Anima and I started watching it, and the opening scene, I spotted something that bugged me, which is, look, man, I don't mind when you're looking for a hero. We need a hero, that opening scene, when I went back and watched it again, I'm like, above the duck. We have the whole opening scene where we see them looking for a certain stone. I'm not going to say the name of it yet. That has some sort of significance for something else. I'm not going to say what it is yet. We'll deal with this in the last half hour. But I got to tell you, dude, when that old dude that's a slave discovers that mineral and he's holding it because he wants to get through and get whatever reward he might get, and he gets mobbed by a bunch of other slaves that want this stone. When they show a kid interrupting that, clean-faced kid, yelling, "Stop it! Leave him alone! Stop it! Leave him alone!" That kid better have some authority or power. When we find out that kid is just another slave, he's just a kid, that is the dumbest moment I have seen. Why would they stop? Because a little kid yelled, "Stop it." They're a mob. I thought that was dumb. I saw that. I'm like, this is terrible writing. And he's like talking about how we need a hero and stuff like that. And I'm like, I appreciate what you're trying to do here, but that opening scene is dumb now. Now that I realize that he, because when I saw it, I was like thinking, oh, is he like a prince or something like that they would stop and listen to him? No, he's not. He's just a kid. That's a slave. I thought that was dumb. That's bad writing.
If anything, they would try to kill him for speaking out of turn.
It was just ridiculous. It was really ridiculous.
It's entirely possible that Teth Adam had some sort of hierarchy in the slave society.
They didn't.
We don't know that. Well, they didn't give it, but it's entirely possible.
It's not in the script. It's not in the film.
I don't think so.
If it's not in the film, it's not in the script. So that's my argument to that.
You mean if it's not on the screen, it's not in the film?
Don't put it to the damn audience to figure it out if you're telling a story.
Or even worse, auxiliary novels that fill in the gaps of your fucking terrible script in the first place. LHHH.
So I had a problem with that. But so now there are three beefs I have with the show. I actually did like a lot of the plot. And that girl, by the way, that plays the mom in the film, you've seen her before. She's been in a lot of stuff. She was in The Rookie. She was on another show that I watched. She's gorgeous, man. Great actor. And I thought she did a really solid job playing the mom. But overall, we'll get into the negatives later. Let's just get into the reactions to the film, because I do want to go see it again. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's got some stuff in it that I didn't enjoy, but they're very small. The overall feeling of that film was I was happy and wanted to watch more. I was happy at the end of that film, and it was nice to get a film that was fun again, because we haven't had that since Endgame, where they didn't try to gank us out of the film with stupid shit.
Yeah, Black Widow.
You know, Endgame was the last good comic book film. That was fun.
Yeah, Eternal.
So what is that Eternals? Is that something?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Because
hell yeah, Shang-Chi.
If you rented it, you would return it to the video store now.
Yeah, Shang-Chi completely morphed that character into somebody with powers. Did you not read the fucking comic, Kevin Feige? God, he's an idiot sometimes.
That's the reason why. That's the reason why we say his knowledge of Marvel comics only goes back to the 80s,
the late 80s. I got to tell you, man. I got to tell you what bugs me about Kevin Feige is he had it going, man. He had it going.
He had it,
and he lost momentum and went into identity politics, and everything died. Marvel just sort of fizzled and died.
Hey, Gary, here's something to think about. You know, when he was doing all that stuff originally, you know who he had with him was the person that he was going to basically give their own portion of the Marvel universe to, James Gunn. You know, Mr. Seemingly knows a lot about comics. Yeah. And the moment James Gunn is gone, Phase 4 completely falls apart. I'm just saying. James Gunn has already proved that he has knowledge of even some of the most small and minute characters within the DC universe. I mean, ones that aren't even C or D list characters, ones further down on that list. And the moment he disappears from Marvel, Marvel goes tits up on Phase 4. Just saying.
Well, isn't this what always happens?
First of all, for this
Hollywood?
information, I want to say this. There you go. Thank you, Keith.
But think
Jonathan
about it.
Eccleston, the media, I am sorry, are desperate to spin Black Adam as a success. Are you fucking kidding me? They've been trying to destroy Black Adam.
Yeah, I think
every major media source has been like.
I think you mean Wakanda Forever, Black Panther 2. Now that would, you know,
they're spinning that one as a success.
Yeah.
What's happening with Black Adam is
stand
they're having to eat crow over it because they were shitting all over it before the release.
Mm-hmm.
Every single major media outlet was shitting all over The Rock, David Zaslav, and Black Adam.
Hey, Jonathan, I think you should be checking the Rotten Tomato scores, dude. I'm not seeing what you're seeing, dude.
Yeah.
So
No one sees that. It's just the critics that are shitting on this movie, not the audience.
I mean, Jonathan, I know you're welcome to your own interpretation, but I'm still trying to see. I'm still trying to see what you're seeing, dude, because that's not what any of us here have seen. So obviously, you're either surrounded by a different group of people, or your social media is aimed the wrong way. But from everything that everyone here on this show has seen, critics have been trying to destroy Black Adam since before that movie came out.
It's every single show on the network, from Midnight's Edge. I'm sure Paulie's even covering this. But here you go. Look at this shit. This is clear. This is clear.
Yeah.
40% on the critics. The media hates Black Adam. The 40% shows this. This is the audience score that have seen the movie. Okay? So I think you're misreading and misunderstanding. No.
Well,
that's bullshit, Jonathan. That is bullshit.
Also, you don't have the numbers for the whole weekend.
Overinflate? You can't overinflate. You can only one person, one vote on this channel. Oh,
hey,
man.
let's let the man who would know talk, and let's give it over to the script doctor.
Good evening or afternoon, everybody. Hi, I'm
Hello.
a little remote right now.
Hello, doctor.
How's it going, everybody? I will say the numbers.com is reporting a 72% drop in ticket sales from Friday to Friday. I don't think that's going to be overall for the weekend, but I was not a big fan of Black Adam. There's some parts I liked, but overall I felt it's a one and done type of movie, and that is not the method that DC should be going forward later on, because you frankly you need movies that make people want to go see them again and again and again. And the rule for cool, I don't think is holding up as it used to 7-8 years ago. The Force Awakens was a lot of it's cool stuff, but it had no heart. But I mean, it netted $2 billion, partially for brand recognition. The other part being is that the diehard Star Wars fans at that time, and I've been able to get a soft confirmation on this because when I do the aggregate numbers with other people in box office and accountants, they say that seems about right. But the Star Wars fans at that time in 2015, on average, saw The Force Awakens between 6 and 12 times.
Wow.
And that's how you get your $2 billion. It's going to be very difficult, especially with the history of DC over the last 30 years, to get a significant portion of DC fans to see a single movie between 6 and 12 times. It's never going to happen. Not in this area of time. Maybe in 30 years when the brand is far stronger and has a larger fan base to do so. But for now, it's not going to happen. This movie, I think, is opening in China in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's still got that box office, which is Warner Brothers isn't going to be taking a huge percentage from that at all. They're actually going to get very little money back from that overall.
Well, this is what
general,
Box Office Mojo is saying right now. That it's going to still hold number one for the weekend.
Probably. But if you're the only movie in the race, of course you're going to be the first person.
Well, it's the only one of its kind, which is why it's going to do so well, because it's only up against Ticket to Paradise that nobody's liking, and Pray for the Devil, which I've heard good things about, but I don't know if I want to watch it. But this is interesting because when we go back to their numbers, let's do the breakdown. Right now, this weekend, for Friday, where's it at? They're at about 7 million right now for Friday. We haven't got, here it is, October 28th, 7.5 million.
That's their estimate,
Friday.
Which is on par with their Thursday preview from a week ago.
Yeah. So I think that it's going to do pretty well. I think they're going to make their buck. Will it make $1 billion? I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
Well, it isn't 600 million the target number at this point for Black
600
Adam?
million would definitely be the profit that they're looking for. I agree. I think.
Well, that's actually not 600 million. Won't be their profit so much as it will basically mean all their costs are covered. Their expenses have.
Well, they make it back for all the marketing, and they did market this finally. I was getting irritated that I had gone several days without seeing one television bump for the movie. I went an entire week without one single ad for it. Not one.
This is going to be difficult, though, because you're approaching an election in a couple of days, and the expenses for commercial ads on network television and cable television are through the roof because of it.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think the studio would – I think it's smart for the studio to just be like, okay, we'll have to pick our moments to market this as opposed to the general saturation that they would have done if this was an off-election year. They just can't afford to do it. They're being price gouged by the affiliates, the networks, anyone that can do broadcasting. The internet is a little bit cheaper, and I think they're relying more on word of mouth and then the normal press junket that The Rock is doing, which he's doing phenomenal with. Like he's getting great responses to public crowds and to the internet, his social media platforms, which is fantastic. But the thing is here's the weak part of it, and this is how you know you've got something that you have to be worried about. They're talking more about The Rock and Henry Cavill than how awesome the movie is.
Yeah. Which I would not call this an awesome film. I would call it a fun film.
A popcorn film.
Fun.
It's old. I would say it's early 2000s popcorn film, which means that you will see it on DVD and you probably will rent it, but you won't buy it unless it's in the $4 bin. Because it's okay to have, but it's not something that you want to have. Like the old school popcorn films, like Back to the Future, Star Wars, they hold up over time, and it's basically to there was someone who I can't remember what I was listening to. I think it was on the radio. They were talking about how all great movies have a message, but the message is a byproduct of their entertainment value. So they're entertained first, and the message is something you realize after the fact. Black Adam is just entertainment. It is a WrestleMania show. It is a WrestleMania show with a little bit of the drama, but not enough for you to connect unless you were following it from the start. Because WrestleMania is basically the man's soap opera, and I don't say that as a diss or anything. I mean, like the rivalries, the heels, the baby faces, the entire showmanship of it. It's very soap opera-y, and it works for that platform. Black Adam tries to do the same thing, and they do it with the same amount of care, which is it's all superficial. Soap operas are superficial. Wrestling is superficial, but it's fun. And you have to go one step over. And the fact that they were working on this film for 15 years, and it took 6 years to get Henry Cavill in for the end part, it shows that they were cared more about the superficiality of it than telling the great story. Because me and my colleagues that we got to see this showing from, and we saw it with a it was a private morning showing, so it was only half filled audience. And there was mixed reactions. We all agreed that The Rock's entrance as Black Adam was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
But it felt like a first draft that was put into production. It's missing
it's the whole opening scene because we're coming into the last half hour. So this is where we're going to get into spoilers. So if you don't want things spoiled, it's time to skedaddle. Skedaddle.
Yeah, Lobo.
Yeah, Adega, you got to go. You said you didn't want to hear it, so time to go.
Run away.
Script Doctor, this is anecdotal, but this is the first movie since No Way Home that I wanted to see more than once.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, that's just, like I said, it's just from my experience, it's the first one I've wanted to see. So, I mean, it doesn't mean I'm not saying it's a perfect movie. I'm just saying I had enough fun that I want to go on that ride again.
No,
yeah, because I want to go see it again this weekend. I'm hoping that I get to go see it with. I didn't know you were editing that. So okay, remove it and bring it back up. Make sure I didn't gank it for you because I was editing it too, Martin. Bring it back up. Make sure I didn't screw it up. Yep, see. So you need to re-edit again to add very spoilery. Yeah. Have fun with that, Martin.
You're a taskmaster. You're never happy, Gary. You're just never happy.
No, I didn't know he was editing it. I was in there editing it too. So this is the spoiler aspect of the show. This is where where 24 is still... 24, did you see the movie?
You're muted, buddy.
He said, yeah, that shit was cool.
My bad. I said, yeah, I saw it.
Did you like it? Did you have fun?
You know, I guess, with me, I'm a real dude. I've been collecting like Captain.
No, he is the king of pregnant pauses. 24 is.
He is.
He freeze up. He froze up.
It's like the wife when she asks, like, "How do I look, honey?"
That was from like World War II.
That's a
what a time
internet connection.
Oh yeah, definitely, Lord Thoth. You want to get skedaddle or mute us because we're going to get into this. I'm not going to do a big breakdown of the show. I'm just going to say again my problem at the beginning with him not being of some kind of royalty or in command. That little kid yelling "stop" when the mob is trying to get that rock from him. the other slave. Like, that made no sense to me. Why would they listen to this kid?
Because the kid is beloved by the slaves.
That's horseshit.
See,
That's
Don't give
dumb.
a shit.
It
He's
made
not
no
the kid-
sense
He's
to
not
me.
the water boy giving water to the slaves as they're drinking. He's just some kid digging.
So
Yeah,
If
he's
he was
just
the water
another
boy,
slave
he'd have power.
who, for some reason, is not as dirty as them.
There's that too.
That's why I thought, oh, he must be royalty, and he's down there, or the son of a guard or a commander or something. No, he's just. I thought that was dumb. So I did like the opening scene past that, but I don't think it explains much. I think they were. My big complaint is a lot of the guilt shit. About where were you when it's like, look, man, that is really weird. The stance they take. They come here just to strip us of our, mine, and I'm like, no, that's more Africa than it is the Middle East. In the Middle East, no country has ever been rescued from another person and had their shit taken from them, especially if it's the United States. We have never taken anything from them. We capped off all those burning oil fields for Kuwait and Iraq, and they got what they were supposed to get back legally, and we didn't profit from it. Now, I'm not saying that there weren't profiteers. There's always a company out there trying to turn a profit. If they get caught doing it, they get in trouble, and the media will hang them for it because they love going after companies that profit from war. But the fact is the whole guilt thing, the shaking of the finger thing in this movie annoyed me. It was ham-fisted, really overdone. And the whole, holding the vagina symbol up in the air was just really weird to me. It's again, a little bit of that is okay, but it just got really ham-fisted. Like they're just not typing anymore. They're just pounding on the keyboard writing. Tell me I'm wrong, script. Tell me I'm wrong. Script.
Oh, sorry. There's a delay here. No, I think I will say this. The relationship between the JSA and Amanda Waller is BS because they don't work for her. And
the way I took that was that she was asking them or hiring them to help her with this,
which is worse because the JSA, if they detected,
she's worked with the JSA and she's worked with the Justice League
begrudgingly.
Yeah, begrudgingly.
The thing is that the JSA or even the JLA should have heard of Black Adam's arrival and then of their own agency gone after to investigate.
And this is all
being
this
told
is
to
all
do
the
so by the
cohesion
government
thing.
is bad because that's antithetical to what the Justice League and the JSA are. They may have
it's
American
what makes
in
the
their name, but that's
JSA
not
look
who
bad.
they work for.
No, that's what makes them look bad. And there is a point where they that they tried to again shake the finger at the Justice Society. It's like you didn't care until he came out what was happening to our country. And I'm like, well, isn't that an argument you should make it to the UN? Like, where were they during all of this?
Well, they're bought off by Intergang.
I just thought the whole thing, the whole saber rattling and the finger wagging was just overdone. I thought the hero worship thing was overdone in this story. The ham-fisted writing is the weak points of this film.
Well, it's the first draft. I mean, there's no.
That's what it felt like. A lot of it. But I got to tell you, the action is the best part of the film, though.
Yeah, but there's no rebellion within this country. Like and here's the other part too. They've been invaded and conquered and ruled over for 5,000 years. How the heck were they able to erect the statue of the one champion?
Yeah, who erected that? Exactly.
And what authority said, yeah, this is okay. Worship someone that's not me. Like I don't get that relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I thought that when we finally get to the reveal scene of what really happened at that incident, I thought that was really weakly written. I didn't like that because that's something that should have been more clearly phrased at some point earlier in the script, like going into the second act, that maybe what happened there Oh, that is a great cover. That's Mike Mignola, dude. Yeah, I love that cover, dude. I love Mike Mignola, dude. What a great artist. Yeah. All right. And so, but let's get into the performances too, because I've seen some people argue that Black Adam, with The Rock as Black Adam was weak. I think it's one of his best performances so far in film. I really dug the shit out of the performances by him. The young actress playing the mom was good. The kid, he did his job. The little kid, her son.
How old is the little kid supposed to be in this movie?
I think he's supposed to be between 12 and 14, and he looks like he's 15, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought he was supposed to be about 15 to 17.
See, you couldn't nail the age of the kid because, one, he didn't behave consistently throughout the entire film.
Yeah, the film, he's very inconsistent. I dislike that scene when he comes up to the van after he helps him. That scene just really bugged the shit out of me because it makes her look like a terrible mother with what she just did, allowing him to do that.
Well, and that's the thing. My interpretation of all of that is the fact that you really didn't need them at all. If the film had been about Black Adam and the JSA, and you would have come up with some sort of a big bad or some kind of a basically what it basically comes out to be is a misunderstanding, really. That would have been
company
enough.
episode, okay.
Yeah, basically. But I mean, to me, it's a first draft. You definitely needed to work on a lot of the relationships to tighten that up a little bit. Well, that's
the weakest part of the film, But I did like, because someone says it was going to be woke, and I said it's not woke. They actually have flirting in the movie. They have actual flirting.
Yeah. Well, against the two youngest members of the team.
But that's all they're there for. They don't do anything else.
Yeah.
They don't really do. Adam Smasher is a complete moron, buffoon. He is Ant-Man for the film.
You almost didn't need
him without the intelligence. Even Scott Lang was smart.
Yeah.
You don't need really the two youngest members. You don't need them at all in this film. What you needed was more Dr. Fate and more Hawkman to develop that relationship. You could tell they've been working for a long time together, but a lot of the other intricacies you need to almost try to figure it out for yourself. It would have been better if this had been a film with just Dr. Fate and Hawkman going against Black Adam.
It would have also been nice to see them work more fluidly as a team.
Yes.
Where you can actually see them set each other up and knock their guy down. They don't do that. Dr. Fate does one thing, and then he leaves the fight for 3-4 minutes, comes back, does another thing, leaves the fight again, and then at one point he literally is sitting in a chair, like just saying, "I'm going to sit this one out." Like, no.
Well, and then the only other thing that I found to be a little out there for me, being a DC fan, was where was the whole dichotomy in his personality? Dr. Fate is really two people. Okay. Yeah. He is someone who has given themselves
a man of two minds. Yeah.
Yeah. He's given himself by his own accounting and willingly over to the Lords of Order to create Dr. Fate. So unlike, say, Doctor Strange, Dr. Fate really, once the helmet and everything are fully engaged, it's a completely different character. He is someone that is imbued with the powers of the Lords of Order and is one of the strongest characters like that in comics because of that, because they have this direct source for all things that are basically order, not really so much good, but order, and going and flowing through him. Okay. Had this been a little more comic accurate, this film would have probably only lasted 15 minutes, if even that. Hawkman, I've always liked the idea of Hawkman just being more of a bruiser, because that's technically what he is, at least the Earth 2 version of the character. He's always looking
a brawler.
Yeah, he is a brawler. He's kind of like Worf in Star Trek: The Next Generation in the first.
Yeah, it's like him. It's like him and Wildcat. Yeah, like Worf. It's like he's he's ready to.
Later.
He's ready to take up arms and get into the fight right then and there. So, yeah, Hawkman is a shit, man. I love Carter Hall, man.
He is that type of character. He's never really been the thinker, even though in comics he was the leader of the JSA for quite a while. He was always someone who just something would happen, and he's the first to take up arms and try to beat the problem into submission.
Not much of a strategist, if I recall, from some of my glancing readings. He was what people assume Superman was to the public, which is all powers and strength. But Hawkman was a bit more direct in that approach. But yeah, Dr. Fate. The helm of Nobu, Lord of Order. The other part too is I don't believe Fate would ever sacrifice himself or his vessel to achieve a thing. He would make sure that there'd be a successor ready to go almost immediately after.
Well, maybe that's where the helmet disappeared.
Something up. I want to go back to with Black Adam. I love the comedy aspect, the comical aspect of some of the things with Black Adam. And when
how long
the kid is trying to teach him to be a good person, a hero, and he says, "You need your catchphrase," and he says, every time you take out a bad guy, before you take him out, you have to say, what was it he said? I can't
Tell him the man in black sent you.
The man in black sent you. And then he would kill him and then say the thing. He goes, no, you got to say it before you do it.
It takes him so long to figure out catchphrase, then kill.
I thought that was some of the most fun parts of this film. And I enjoyed the fact that when Fate and Hawkman are confronting him, Black Adam's like, you don't know how to fight me. And they didn't understand that they're way over their heads with this guy.
Yeah, he just keeps dropping people, and Hawkman's
deep into the pool and can't tread water. Yeah. So I just thoroughly enjoyed that. The action made this film. And that whole opening scene when the moment she says Shazam, and he comes up out of that, what we find out later is a prison made by the wizards to protect the world from him, because he's not who you think he is. And I like that. They do plant that seed. He's not who you think he is. And at the end, we find out that it's not the kid. It's his father, who is played by The Rock in the face, but by body with somebody much smaller. I kind of enjoyed that aspect of it, even though that's not the comic that I remember. I enjoyed that as a story, that the kid sacrificed himself for his dad.
Yeah, well, Wolverine,
because he was his hero.
I think you have a really good point. This is also another reason why the script is not perfect. Okay, had they actually highlighted that and allowed her character to do something, I think that would have made a little more sense. But then you would have had Hawkman, Dr. Fate, and Isis, or at least Isis being the one.
Almighty Isis.
So that's really, I think, where the whole answering of that question would be with how intergang and everything else fits in. With Isis being someone who's tried to work behind the scenes and trying to inspire people. But again, which version of the character are you doing? Are you going to do her as a freedom fighter, or is she going to be a superhero? This is the reason why this is a first draft. Okay. If you're going to introduce a character like that, do right by her by at least displaying some kind of powers and or abilities. Because if she is meant to be Isis, she hasn't done anything. She really doesn't do anything. And
that's the same problem. Hawkman, Dr. Fate, Atom Smasher, and Cyclone. Their introduction is them going to a mansion. It's not them saving someone else. Or, being heroes. It's
I thought that
I
agree wholeheartedly. We should have seen them mid-action. Classic James Bond style of introduction where we get the end of another story to bring them into the news story.
No, I'm sorry. I was just saying that actually that takes away a lot from an introduction to, regardless if it's a superhero or just a character that you're meeting for the first time, whether what they say, first impression it means everything. And when you see heroes show up for the first time, you want to see them show up in action because that speaks volumes versus you seeing them for the first time and they all walk into a room and they're all trying to meet. Hey, my name is so and so, but they call me blah blah blah. Or my name is, it's like, like meeting people on that level. Sometimes that shit doesn't work.
Passive.
Right, exactly. And I mean, it only worked, a little bit, somewhat. Let's say, like in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the way they met each other. When you saw it, some of it was in action, some of it was in casual meeting, but it all, it made sense. It depending on how it plays out. But if it doesn't play out in a way that the casual introduction of these heroes makes sense, then it's better to see them when they first show up, basically going gangbusters and just it's better to just see them go all out the first time you see them. That way the introduction is impactful.
Yeah.
You're
because
supposed
what we end
to
up
make
having
it so.
here.
And by the way, this is what if you guys are wondering what they're talking about with Isis, this is what they're talking about. Is that her character is set up to become Isis?
Well, she's supposed to have this necklace on, and that would have made more sense that either she knew what she was capable of, or you find out, like in the third act, that necklace, that Dr. Fate was able to identify that necklace can do something, or who she actually is, and so that would explain him leaving the fight, because here you have an additional powerful person who would be useful in the fight. And she has this necklace, and he's trying to get her to understand that, you can do something.
Well, and it might even explain why he protected her in that opening scene when she calls out Shazam and brings him out of the prison he was in. Yeah, I'm a big fan of first of all, I grew up in the 70s. And so that was one of my favorite shows was the Shazam Isis Hour.
Yeah, this is number one.
What year is that?
I should at least be 75, 76.
Yeah, it's just this is issue number one, going for 30 cents. So this has to be about 78, 79.
Okay.
And then, of course, I got it's funny that we're talking about this. I got my whole Shazam collection right here in front of me, man.
Well, yeah, I got to tell you, man. As woke as that series, both of them were, I have such great fond memories of that. But I always thought it was funny that they were trying to do the. Let me pull.
They're PSAs.
Yeah, they had an educational board that were involved with the writing, so that a lot of silly, stupid shit. Like my least favorite moments is like fighting doesn't solve anything. Tell that to the Jewish people rescued from Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
Fight save them.
I always love it when it's in a
Any
series
country
where they do
liberated
nothing
from
but
another
fighting.
villain. Thank God for fighting. Fighting saves a lot of people.
Well, Wolverine. Again, I have to say that's a really great idea. Unfortunately, didn't really make a lot of sense given
They
what they
should
were
have
able
put
to
that
do.
in. If they, I don't think they explained the interest of Black Adam and her character and why he saved her.
Well,
Because
I think
there
there
has to be something there.
Well, I think there's a lot that ended up on the cutting room floor.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of post-production editing and other things done to get this movie to where it is, and that's fine. It's just the fact that I think the script. Look, Script Doctor's been saying it. This is a first draft, and a lot of these problems it should have been handled in draft 2. It's the same way I think of the movie The Batman. The Batman is not a perfect film. It may sound like I hate it, but it's actually a first draft. Yeah, I know you do. I
think it's the worst Batman film ever put to screen.
I won't argue with you at all on that. I mean, there's zero detective work done in the film. And then
It's
you
like,
take
do
the
what
two
the bad guy
detectives
tells you to
and
the
make them
entire
look like
time.
idiots because they couldn't figure out one phrase in Spanish. They got
Alfred
it
does
wrong.
more of the detective work than Batman in that movie.
Amen, he does.
Yeah, that's a film that should have at least had a couple more draft versions. There's a lot in that film that doesn't make any sense, and there's a lot of really bad casting. But hey, at least it's going to get an HBO series for the Penguin, okay? Because people keep talking about that car. That's the one scene in the film that I really despise. You know, that scene with the car is something I do not like. You know, it has more character development than a lot of the other film. But
we just like the car because the car's cool.
Yeah, it's a badass car. I like that scene because of Oswald. I just thought he was the best part of that scene when he's running from the Batmobile. I just enjoyed that. To me, that was a mini. I would like that just as a standalone little short film. That was a standalone.
That's it. It's an entire film built around one particular good section, and the rest of it is just complete trash.
Yeah, the best part of that film is the Penguin.
Batman. I want to see Penguin.
Yeah, knocking on the door. There's Batman. Let me in, Batman. Batman, let me in.
Yes, script. You were saying?
Adam West did that better.
He also did the dance. Didn't Affleck have a great look? The rumor, Bill, is the rumor mill has it that that's a potential future thing to happen, and I think a lot of fans want to finally see Ben Affleck's Batman movie.
I think they have a shot at it.
When he fights Deadshot, he fights Deadshot in the street, right? In that animatic. Deathstroke. That animatic was like amazing. I would love to see that movie.
I think everybody wants to.
Yeah.
I think Ben Affleck definitely should have the opportunity of taking his original script and at least showing us what we've been wanting to see, which is a Batman in full control of his capacities and a version of the universe. And this is in my opinion, one of the great things about having James Gunn. We would have a better opportunity to have a more comic accurate Batman universe, because really that is the one thing that quote unquote the Batman was going to attempt to do. Well, now you don't need it. If this is true with Ben Affleck coming back and James Gunn running things, then the Batman's universe is completely and utterly separate from everything officially. So all you fans out there hoping to see that version of the character brought in with everything else, that's not going to happen. That is now officially not going to happen. And that's fine. You know, it can be whatever it wants to be. I'm just worried that the Batman 2 may not be as good ultimately as one would hope.
It's been delayed already, and it's not happening.
Oh, geez. Thank goodness for small favors.
Talking about that,
Hollywood doesn't like to delay things that are in pre-production or in development. They only will delay something that's in post-production because they need more time to finish it, not to get it started. So it's not happening. And if it does happen, that shows that Matt Reeves either has, pictures of Zaslav or something else is going on there.
Exactly. And by the way, Ford is back. COD just became a member. Thank you very much for joining the membership. For you, I'm going to play a little video. We'll probably get ganked later for showing this, but I don't care. This is one of my favorite moments in comic book movie history. Here you go.
To kill you. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me. What are you? I'm Batman.
Boom, baby.
Again, I think what you have here is
Sam Hamm, Warren Scorin. Come on.
I think what you have here is a very unique opportunity for Warner Brothers to do something kind of fun. I mean, forget Marvel for a moment. As a DC fan, I think we've reached a point where we have a very unique opportunity to become entertained by a few characters and things that on certain fronts haven't really been treated as well as they should have, and an opportunity to see characters that we never thought we would see in any way, shape, or form done by Hollywood. That's what really excites me about James Gunn. Especially characters that I don't think we would have ever seen. I still think that a Challengers of the Unknown series would be fantastic, and that there are Frank Grillo would be a great addition to a version of that, leading that team.
That's it.
it would just be bad A. All kinds of bad A. And I think once you go down that road of showing some of the lesser known DC properties and IP that have never really gotten any real attention, if you can get back to what they were doing in the early 2000s with stuff like Red and Red 2 and Road to Perdition, the Losers.
Yeah.
DC has an entire universe of mercenaries and secret agents and people that just love to kick so much butt that if you unleashed that just as its own universe, I mean, you wouldn't need to worry about James Bond much anymore. DC could replace that with an entire universe of having like your own version of James Bond versus Jason Bourne. You know, with the Losers and Christopher Chance, aka the Human Target, and the original two. Yeah, it all of that stuff plays. You know, it plays and would be fantastic to cast and have fun with. You know, you're doing something that not even the rights holders for James Bond have ever really considered doing, which is creating an entire universe around that character. And you do that with King Faraday at the center. And then you could loosely just have things like Amanda Waller and others that are on the periphery to connect it to all this other universal stuff. But I mean, a web of spies and mercenaries, an entire universe of stuff like that, it would just kick so much butt.
Well, I know we're getting ready to wind down here in a minute, but before we do, can I as a JSA fan, there's some moments in Black Adam that I really love. Mm-hmm. First of all was the guest appearance of the original Al Pratt, the original Adam, played by Henry Winkler.
Yes,
which I thought was cool as hell, because Adam Smasher calls his grandfather and says, "Hey, because that's where he got the suit from, because it's the Adam suit. It wasn't quite Adam Smasher's suit." I think you didn't like that, 24?
Nah, because that's not even accurate, man. I've been collecting JSA. I got all their issues from like the mid 70s all the way to now. So I got the first appearance. He was called Nuklon before he was he was part of Infinity Incorporated before he even became Adam Smasher. And and Al Pratt was the Atom. He wasn't. So he was the Atom before the Atom that grew small. And then Ray Palmer, exactly. And so it's like for him to get the Adam Smasher name, and he got it from Adam Smasher from World War II, because their powers weren't the same. So it didn't work like that, man. It wasn't something that was passed off. Well, it wasn't like something that of course it was like some kind of body chemistry, but the powers didn't work the same.
No.
So it's like, I don't know, man. I could understand where he was trying to pay homage to his grandfather for being an Atom type figure, but the way their powers work weren't the same for him to pass off a suit. So I don't know, man. I mean, they could have just done it to where he was like, "Yo, that's my grandfather." The powers kind of trickle down the bloodline, but it doesn't quite work the same for me the way it worked for him. That way he could have been his own individual.
Yeah, well, I thought it was cool.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, and actually, that's really what happened. But I mean, it could have easily been explained like that instead of him thinking, "Okay, well, I got the suit from my grandfather." It's I don't know, man.
They did. There's a lot that they didn't explain in this movie that they could have. That they could have done a better job.
Right. That's true.
First draft, not a shooting script.
Also, they brought him in as comic relief. He was so proud to get the suit from his granddaddy, and then he just kept fucking it up because it was the whole superhero thing. He has to grow into that, I think.
In the same,
to add a little fun.
In the same tone that John gave us here, I really like that very specific moment in which Dr. Fate says, "We are the Justice Society." I love it. It was a cool, nice intro.
Regardless of the difference of how they portrayed the character and the powers and anything, Pierce Brosnan killed it in that role.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with you on it. That's true.
Pierce Brosnan was fantastic. And again, they should have leaned heavily into having him as a part of this. Dr. Fate is one of my all-time favorite characters. And overall, this movie really didn't do the character that many favors. But I will say this. Having him in this movie, and what they should have done was introduce Green Lantern into this film, because that character is a nice cross-section between superheroes and the magic realm. Okay? The original Green Lantern, Alan Scott, pre-2011, because 2011 is where they made all the changes to the character.
Right. Yeah, the new 52, right.
Yeah. What you had with Green Lantern was that is a quote-unquote magic ring. Okay?
Yep.
So he's a superhero with a magic green ring. So having both Green Lantern and Dr. Fate would have been a slightly better team. If you were going to introduce someone like Isis into the story, having her be someone that has a kind of reincarnation angle, that's where Hawkman comes in. He should have been the one talking to her about that. Like I said, first draft, you have some of the right characters. You didn't need Atom Smasher, and you didn't need the girl. What you needed was Cyclone. All you needed was Green Lantern, Hawkman, Dr. Fate. And then you bring up and you help Isis realize that she is the hero that land really needed. You know, she's been there all the time and didn't realize who she was. And then that Black Adam appearing helped to jog her memory as to who she really is. And then the rest of it plays out the way that it should.
Yeah, I mean, they could have done that and pay homage to the original Isis from the show, man. I mean, it just
this is look again. This is meant to be a fun movie, and that's great.
Right.
And remember, the people who made this, who greenlit this, and tried to shepherd this, who shepherded it through, are mainly the people that are no longer working there now.
There's that too.
Yeah.
So, like I keep saying, it's going to be about 2 years before we're going to be able to see what James Gunn's version of the DC universe is. And there is nothing that says that you can't, with the next Black Adam movie, not basically create opportunities to make some changes. You got to remember that next film is going to be after Flashpoint.
Yeah.
So you can retcon a lot of different. You can retcon a lot of different changes, like, for instance, having Pierce Brosnan back.
That'd be nice.
I'd like Kevin Costner back and actually be able to be a parent to Clark instead.
Wow. Still
let me
going,
myself.
Dude,
I want to see a whole JS.
No, I agree. I hate to see how Pa Kent always gets killed off. I don't know. I hate that shit, man.
Hey, you know,
don't even get me started on that. Don't even get me started. We have come to the end of the show. We got our 2 hours in.
Is that from the back door, Gary?
Oh my God,
Mike,
man!
wouldn't you know that back door would trigger a trap door?
So there you go. Script. You know, it's Keith will tell you. I said sometimes I just wish script artists would just show up on our show. Just show up. And you did it.
Yeah. I'm happy to be here and shoot the breeze with you on Black Adam, and I mean, I do wish it was performing well, because I think they got some things right in a good direction for DC's future, but
it's a very imperfect film. Yeah,
it's very imperfect film, and again, I think this might be the barometer for the next 4 that are scheduled to come out. I think they're going to probably all fall in the same realm of quality. The box office is going to be different, but I think the realm of quality will be the same. And hopefully that'll provide Zaslav and Gunn enough data points to say this is what we need to do to get a hit and actually put DC back on in competition with the rest of the films out there.
Well, and again, I'm hoping that when it comes to Blue Beetle, I mean, that one definitely is going to need to be retconned a little bit after that film, because there is even without having seen the film, some of the story points they have for that movie are way off, and they can bring that back in line if you were to have someone like a Chris Pratt
as Booster Gold
playing the role.
No. Playing the second Blue Beetle.
Ted Cord.
Ted Cord.
I don't think he can play it straight. I mean, he's a good actor. I don't think that's to his wheelhouse of how playing it straight. I would say who's the lead actor in Starscape?
Booster Gold. Yeah, I'm not going to argue that.
I think I want to Booster Gold, and the guy who's lead actor in Farscape would be a better Ted.
Yeah,
Cord.
Ben Browder.
Ben Browder. Yeah.
Booster Gold would be a good one for Chris Pratt, because Chris is just really good at the comedy. Wolverine, I agree with you. I think that would have been a distraction if they had done it, fulfilled it in this episode. This film does not, what do they call it, bait and switch you at all.
No.
Her character has to be saved a couple of times. I think that some of the chest beating and saber rattling was a bit goofy. It's like, I don't know, it's just really silly. The whole, we need to stand up. It's like, come on, man. This is what makes you want to stand up and fight.
Diamond Dallas Page. Look,
I gotta tell you, in the military, this is a push-up. This means
also,
push-up.
Moon Knight wasn't even Moon Knight. Come on.
No,
Moon Knight. After the third episode, it's the first Marvel project that didn't just disappoint me, made me angry. I began raging over what they did on that show, and I was pissed. I will never watch Disney Plus Marvel again on Disney. Disney's done with me. I'm done with them.
It seemed like a lot
Wolverine,
of what they did.
So I agree with you. No more clickbait. I mean, bait and switch shit. Tell a story. Let the hero be a hero. If there are female characters, let them be heroes. But stop trying to make the female character supplant the male character. It's just dumb writing. It's bad writing.
Ben Browder was also in the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Yep.
So he's aged a little bit. I still think that you could get away with having Ted Cord be a man that he doesn't have to be in his 20s. He could be a man in his 30s that is retired from the position and decided to concentrate being the kind of creative person who has a positive effect on the world. Now, especially with this new Blue Beetle that has accessed the Scarab, his role would be as someone who could help mentor him, but also, from his own point of view, this is something that he's never actually seen before. He's never experienced the full power of the Scarab, and this kid comes along and he's able to do it. So,
I mean, I would like to have a proper Batman Beyond relationship between those two, because it makes more sense.
Yeah, yes, and I do believe that Michael Keaton should take on the mantle of playing Batman Beyond, and I'm hoping that's where we're going.
Well, yes, I would love that so much.
I'm still opposed to that to a degree, because like Miles Morales is Miles Morales, Terry McGinnis is not Batman. Just give me Bruce Wayne.
He's not supposed to be. He's Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
Because real Batman is his boss.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
Who are
you? I'm Batman.
There you go. I'm Batman. And just before we go, I want to tell that story. I was served with this young man named Chandler. I don't know what his first name was. I only knew him by his last name. It was Chandler. And he was about a 5'4" tall black kid. And first time I met him was in basic training, and I was keeping a secret that I was an artist. I didn't want people to know. And he walked up to me and he says, "Batman." And I thought he had found out, was messing with me. And I looked at him and I said, "Why did you say that to me?" And he says, "Because you look like Michael Keaton, Batman, right here." And I'm like, "I do not look, shut up." But he kept, every time he saw me, he'd go, "Batman." He'd get all excited by it, and I just ignore him and tell him to fuck off. And this went on for close to about 4 or 5 months. And at the end of training, our AIT training, we were in our Class A's. I was getting ready to get on a bus to go to the airport and catch my flight to my unit. And I saw him, and I knew it was the last time I'd ever see this guy. So I yelled at him to report, and he showed up in front of me, stood up, at attention. And And then I grabbed him by the lapels of his Class A uniform and I lifted him up into my face because he's a tiny guy. And I said,
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
And he actually said that, what are you? And I threw him straight backwards. He landed on his feet, stumbled, looked at me with his eyes so huge, this little guy. And he just ran away from me. The last images I have of this guy running away from me, looking back and pointing, going, he's Batman. He's Batman. And I thought, this is the dumbest moment of my life, but I had to give this kid that because he'd been calling me that for like months. And I wouldn't feed into it. And I finally fed into it. I felt like I owed him something for being that dedicated to the gag. But anyway, Script, thanks for showing up, man. I appreciate it, buddy. More than you know. And thanks for sharing that artwork I did for you for your Father's Day thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, everybody shared that. So it was a beautiful. I just wrote the script and I hired Gary to do it, and it was beyond what I was expecting, and it's getting a lot of good traction. So please share it out. Maybe get into the hands of James Gunn or Henry Cavill.
I guess I
They'll
could
probably dig it too.
Let me find you on here, Script. I'll actually show the page real quick. You can find this on Script Doctor's page. He is at Script Doctor PhD on Twitter, and here it is. I'll share it real quick. Share screen. That is the little comic page that you got me to do for Father's Day.
Yeah.
And I do like this. It was fun. Little piece, I don't know. I love Superman. I have a great love for him. And that's why I'm excited about what we're going to get, because now I believe that Henry Cavill has the star status to have the authority and power that The Rock had for Black Adam, that he's going to get what he wants as Superman. Because if there's anybody that understands Superman, he does. And I think he cherishes it the same way Christopher Reeve did. And I think he understands the character. Because if you've listened to his early interviews, his description of Superman is not the Superman that we got. He was describing real Superman and what he represents and who he is. And I think now that he has certain rights as a star, we're going to see him have a little more control over the character. Do you think I'm right on that, Script?
I think you're right, but I also think it's sad because that should have been a synergy between him and the producers and production at the time. And let's not forget, Man of Steel was only made to retain the film rights of Superman. It was rushed into production because for some reason they screwed up with Superman Returns in the rights part. So they ended up losing a couple of years off of that and going back to court. So they had to make this movie. And a lot of the parties involved, I think Kevin Tsuchikara was involved, Christopher Nolan was involved, Zack Snyder was involved, like all these, David S. Goyer, unfortunately, was involved. And it just...
David S. Goyer.
They hit all the low-hanging fruits.
We need to do a whole show on that dude, just talking about him. And I want you there, Script, because I love the way you shit on him, too.
So yeah, he's again, they made one massive misstep out of desperation to meet a deadline, and that is what started this entire decade of bad DC superhero films. Save for maybe the Joker, which was a fluke. So yeah, it all came up. That's why you never want to do anything when you're desperate. It's okay to be like, okay, yeah, we're approaching a deadline. Let's at least take a minute and make sure that what we're doing is the best product we can get for our audience, as opposed to just trying to hit a deadline, because there were so many other legal loopholes they could have done with the Siegel family, especially to mitigate the amount of payout they would eventually have to make and did make in order to retain the Superman rights for another decade or so.
Yeah, a lot of us Kingsport Cal liked Superman Returns.
Yep,
I enjoyed it. I thought that the whole creepy aspect of him spying on her was weird, but I did enjoy that film. And I'm telling you, Keith and I both got really emotional when he saves that plane and they played the theme.
The The best shot in that movie is Lois sitting in the plane. The G-forces are pushing against her. She looks out the window, and you just see that blur of Superman pass by. That is the best shot of the film.
Yeah.
Because that tells you everything you need to know about what Superman is. It's like when...
Yeah, and to go back to just one last thing. The post or mid-credit scene where Superman appears is absolutely my favorite part of the whole film. It really is. For one reason and one reason only is because, and I know Henry Cavill and The Rock had something to say in this, and I appreciated that while they were shooting this scene, that dipshit, what's his name, the director of Justice League, Zack Snyder let it out that he originally wanted John Williams' Superman theme, and that it was the heads at Warner that refused.
That's a lie.
It. You think it's a lie? I don't know, but I
know
think
that's a lie
because
because Warner Brothers owns the song, and they actually have no problem re-releasing it and reselling albums with that song on it. Like I know that.
So you think Snyder lied about that?
I know he lied about that because he had 2 other opportunities to use the theme, and he never does. But the moment Joss Whedon comes in and we get the Danny Elfman Batman theme and John Williams Superman theme, it's like no. That's not the studio saying no. That's Zack Snyder being like, I want Hans Zimmer to vibrate into a microphone for me.
Vibrate into a microphone for me. But either way it goes, you knew that something had shifted. The paradigm had shifted when Henry Cavill steps up and you hear the John Williams Superman theme.
Gave me goosebumps.
Well, yeah. For 2 reasons, it works better. Number one, you can hum the theme, and it's got only a couple of notes that you instantly recognize what it is. For Hans Zimmer, you got nothing.
Williams did it based off of the original TV series, because that one, when it goes, because it said Superman 2, and he imitated that with the theme for the film, that it says Superman.
Yep.
And bam, it nails it. It's not a droning, going on forever. Blah, 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 blah. I'm just.
What are they gonna do for Superman comes in that black ad, and it's like bum bum, and then by the time he finishes, says we need to talk. You have no idea that's a Superman theme. You just think it's mood music.
That's not a theme at all.
No, it's not a theme. No. Exactly. I've explained to people. Theme means hook. It's a hook that it means recognize,
that people will remember it.
Recognize.
Yeah.
And draws you in, causes for some people an emotional response. Because that's what theme music was all about. It was originally created to help the emotional impact of a scene in a film. Cinema understood that from the silent days that the music had an impact. And so it's always been there since the silent era. Music is important to telling the story.
Yeah,
and that's
the music also tells a story too.
Yeah. Now, I do have script, and if you ever want a copy, you let me know. I have the fan edit of Man of Steel that has some additional action scenes added to it from previous Supermans where you can't see his face too well. So it works for the big battle. But they put the entire soundtrack as John Williams all the way through.
I don't think that would really make it much better.
It made it this much better. And I enjoyed it. My big problem is that Superman doesn't take the fight away from the city, and he would have.
I don't like the Last Jedi aspect of Superman, where the first half of the movie, Clark is trying to find out his people, his heritage, and he tells his mom, "I found them, I'm happy." And then he faces off Zod and says, "Krypton had its chance." It's like, dude, that's the exact opposite of what you were going for this entire movie, and that's the best your theme and motivation is to find out who you're from and what the people are. And then just turn around and say, yeah, Krypton had its chance. No, he'd say, from what I've learned, Krypton would hate you for trying to do this. Like, that's what Superman should have said.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or
I agree
not
wholeheartedly.
At the cost of innocent lives.
Yeah, like the Avengers.
Yeah.
And, hey, I want to show you something. Hold your head in one position just like this. And guess what? Your eyes still move.
Well, not only that, he still turned the head in the direction of the family that was cowering from the laser. So
I know.
He turned the head towards them to kill him.
But still, despite trying to immobilize his head, eyes still move. They move independently of the head. It's just
if anything,
dumb.
he put his hand over the eyes and
that's what he should have done exactly.
From that. Yeah.
Yep.
I also hate him destroying that guy's truck. I get the guys.
What you do is you get burn marks to Zod when he takes his hand away because he's got burn marks on his face from the blast, like bouncing off his skin, like in Kal-El's hand is like charred up.
That's not a theme, Bill. I studied music theory, as did Anima. You know, and a theme has an actual meaning. Max, did you study music theory?
No, I did not.
Okay, you're just a fan of music.
I like music, and I've played instruments as well as sang. So
I'm an accomplished pianist and drummer, and I got to tell you, the theme, when you use
theme is very important.
You're being real loose with what a theme is. He drones, and that's my problem with Hans Zimmer. He used to be a good composer at one time, and then suddenly he started going into this droning thing.
He's gotten more corporate or committee based with his.
Is that what it is? It's just
maybe.
Back in the old days, he was good, and then all of a sudden he went to shit. And not a fan of his work. It worked with Blade Runner because he was imitating a style of another composer, Vangelis, however you want to say his name.
Well,
or
Gary,
when he did Batman, because Batman works. It's dark. Droning works with Batman.
Gary,
I don't need that sweeping march theme. What, buddy?
One of the things Danny Elfman talked about, which changed with composer music, which explains a lot of it now, they don't want it to stand out. They don't want it to be noticeable. That's why you don't have any good themes anymore. They're literally telling them not to make memorable music.
Well, and that's a problem with
Alvin
Marvel.
Silvestri
Marvel
does
doesn't
two of
have
the most popular themes for Marvel in the last 20 years: the Avengers theme, and then the normal Marvel fanfare that starts every movie. Like that's
the Avengers theme is one of the most recognizable from Marvel. I don't remember any other theme.
And the thing is, people complained about that originally because the Avengers did not have a theme. At least the MCU didn't start out with actually having a theme to it to begin with. They got the complaints and they finally did one.
Yeah,
So,
they did in response to people going, wait a second. So
Yeah.
the industry still had it. It's just people complained. And they
It's
actually.
like we don't have an Iron Man theme. We don't really have a Captain America theme. We don't have a Thor theme. It's like, okay, we hear you. Avengers, we'll give them a theme.
Yep.
And
And
they
they
did. It's
still
a
gave-
very memorable theme. I like.
And
that.
they gave Wonder Woman a theme in BBS and Justice League.
Yeah, and I like
exactly.
By the way,
She's the one who has a song cue I remember from those new movies. You know that.
Didn't feel very Greek though.
No, no.
It felt very South
I
American.
got to tell you, very few things feel like Greek. I'm making a dirty joke.
You're making a backdoor joke.
Yeah,
Yes. Hey. Do you know why the older brother, Greek brother, didn't leave home?
Oh my!
Because he was afraid to leave his little brothers behind.
But
How about this?
I want to thank Werewolf Jeeves, Monkey Jeeves, Penny, Bill Barkley, AF Watcher 88, War Monkey, Keely Chow, Dragon Ruse, Wolverine 262, 6, Sagacious 6, or Jedi 6 nonetheless. Dr. Dragon, Alex Moore, Ford is back COD, and thank you for becoming a member. Tim's Talk, Script Doctor, who is also here, thank you. Anima Confusa for being the love of my life. Joe's Atmosphere, fellow veteran, I salute you, my friend. Tree Rock Creations, I do believe that's our buddy Matt. Scribe Light, my other favorite writer on Twitter. Number one is this guy right here. Then Scribe Light. You guys are friends, aren't you, Scribe?
Yeah. We're doing a thing tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be talking about A New Nightmare and trying to do a follow-up sequel.
Shit!
Pitch for the A New Nightmare version of.
If you're not subbed to Script Doctor's page, please sub to it. Would you put it in the private chat so Mark can share it?
Well, that's going to be on Scribe's channel. So let me
Scribes.
pull that up for you. Hold on.
Yeah, would you please give that to Martin so he can share it out? I want to thank Lord Thoth for being here. All hail Lord Thoth. Kingsport Cal, Adega Outlaw, our Muslim uncle. Assalamu alaikum. Jonathan Eccleston, even though absolutely, I don't think you dig this show at all because you didn't like anything that we said. I know you didn't.
I think he does.
I appreciate you being here, man. Bring the arguments and stuff. If we shoot you down, it doesn't mean we're shooting you down personally. We're just shooting down what you're saying. Mr. Tickle Trunk was here, which it's always good to see him. He and Mexican Iron Man are the two biggest financial supporters of this channel. Real Wade Nation. Let's see. Awesome One was here. Oh, good to see you, buddy. And that's it. I want to thank everybody for watching the show today. We got up there in the 20s for a little bit, but look, man, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's a weekend. It's Halloween weekend. I'm surprised anybody's watching it all. There it is. I'm going to be watching that this weekend, so expect me in the chat script. So get to that. If you've not subscribed to 24/7 Fusion Media, you should be. He's a hell of a guy. He's a good friend of ours. Keith and I love him.
Thank you, man.
And no matter what, you know, at some point he's going to say, yeah, that shit's cool.
There you go. It's all good.
Yeah,
man.
you were to hear script when I was doing an echo with him. He would say something, I would echo it in his voice. Yeah.
He's got
that led to a funny moment on a show one time, because I think it was Monkey Jeeves that said, why does Gary's black guy voice sound more black than Keith?
Oh, shit.
I'm doing 24/7 Fusion Media's voice. That's why. But thank you, everybody, for being here. Script, thanks for dropping in, buddy. I mean it. It means a lot to me when you drop in on the show. Baron, I'm okay with you being here. It's all right.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it means a lot to me.
John, as always, thank you for being Michael Douglas from Falling Down. You are the best Michael Douglas cosplayer ever. I want to thank Shinatsky for being here. You have every show, you have at least one moment where you shine. Did you have one this one? I don't remember.
Shinatsky was
Gary, dude. It's like, I'm sorry. I think I spent myself yesterday because I created the metrosexual Mexican Iron Man theme, and it has now caught on like wildfire. By the way, in advance, I'm sorry,
Polly.
Mike. I am so.
Polly is here. Hey, Polly.
No, you're not sorry, Shinatsky, because you.
No, he is not. Sorry
he's sorry, not sorry. Anima, thank you for being here. Love of my life. Mags, my other good. She's my bitch friend. We bitch at each other about things in our life.
Yep.
We get in private chat and just like, man, this makes me so mad. Martin, thank you for being the right side of my brain as always, for keeping on. But you're going to be elevated again. You're going to be doing some stuff you don't want to do. You're going to be doing it during the show, which means if you see something that needs to be brought up, because we are going to be going to KGR Radio, I'm going to expect you to go, Gary, you have a comment here you might want to look at. Yeah, it's me doing your accent. And then, of course, 24/7 Fusion Media.
You know it.
The reports of his I know. It's racist.
You are very racist.
The reports
Gary.
of 24/7 Fusion Media's death was greatly exaggerated. That motherfucker's still alive. I love you, buddy. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you dropped in on us.
Hey,
Hey, 2 friends dropped in today that just made my day. You guys made my day. You and Script.
I know we're closing, but here, look at this.
Yeah, I haven't looked into it.
I don't know anything
I
about
just
this.
saw
Keith.
that 10 minutes ago. I'm not sure if that's real yet. You know?
I think
Henry
just
Cavill
broke.
said on his Instagram he's leaving. It's real or it's not. Either way, he's gonna have to hit the gym, because I saw him in an interview recently, and he's got some saggy chest muscles that he's got to firm up for Superman. That's
I
gonna
think
take a
we'll
while.
all love that. I think we need a 24-hour a day video of him working.
Yeah, can he put that on Instagram like all the time?
Because Mags needs that.
Yeah, I do.
When she's having one of those moments where she's just got to, let off some steam, she needs some Henry Cavill.
Oh my god!
Hey,
keep that in your back door pocket.
If they're gonna go that way, they gotta have him exercising
Nice one,
with
Max.
Jason Momoa.
Yeah. And before I play the video, here's my response to that.
Well, whatever helps you sleep at night, bitch.
Oh, it's really you, Gary. I mean, you just projected yourself.
Strong. I'm gonna go check the back door.
For
Yeah, there you go.
Henry Cavill, Gary, I'm just wondering.
What?
Wondering what?
Wondering what?
How long have you been gay for Henry Cavill, Gary?
Every human being on this planet is gay for Henry Cavill.
Henry
Men
Cavill
want,
is
men want,
incredible.
men
Even
want
the
to
ones
be him,
that-
and women want him.
Yeah.
Hey,
Even the men that say they aren't really are.
Yep.
I said this to Andre. It was one of the many times I made him chuckle on a show. I said, Andre, dude, I don't swing that way, but if I did, it's you. And I say that about Henry Cavill. Yeah, I would be a power bottom with that man if I swung that way. But until that day, I'm going to admire the shit out of him. Hey, Matt Vader in the chat. Hey, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Keith, you are the last one that I have to thank. You are always my partner in crime. You have helped me break so many laws. I mean, you drove that getaway car that one time. We are going to be
Gary,
shooting
shut the fuck up.
very soon, 15 feet from where I'm sitting right now. We're going to have our little studio. We're going to be shooting live. They're going to be working on it tomorrow. I'm hoping it'll be ready soon. And that way we can imitate the Salty Nerds with Matt Vader. Matt Vader is, of course, my favorite part of Salty Nerds, followed immediately by Jude, and then Kadish and that Alex guy. He's okay. I like them all. They're all awesome. If you're not watching Salty Nerds, you guys are missing some of the most fun. I love the way they do it. Kadish, Matt Vader says, Kadish with his magic fingers. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. He said magic fingers. It's a quote. That's Matt Vader quote. Kadish, magic fingers. Okay. Polly, thank you for being here, my friend. It's always good to hear from you. And I am curious, before I close, I would like to hear from Paulie. Did you like Black Adam? Did you enjoy it like we did? Despite some of the problems, did you enjoy it? Penny, thank you for being here. And also thank you for being Dork Knight's mom. Talk to him. He seemed really out of sorts yesterday when he popped on the show. And he showed up at the end of the show, and I feel bad that he didn't get to really do anything. Just make sure he's okay. I worry about him. Polly, anything from you there? Polly? 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 Polly got a cracker?
Anyone?
Polly?
Anyone?
Mr. Tickle Trunk, as always, where was your super chat this episode? I'm very disappointed in you, mister. I expect you to make more Canadian dollars and share them with us. Monopoly money. That's something that Script Doctor has to deal with, too, is Monopoly money, right?
It smells like bacon. Or maple syrup, rather.
It does, and it can survive the laundry. So
and it can survive the laundry. Yes, excellent, Polly. Excellent. I'm glad you liked it too. I was hoping you liked it. Absolutely enjoyable film, despite some of. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. Script, a lot of script problems, and the script's problem is it was written. A lot of it. The action scenes were the tightest moments in the film. And it seemed to be the only coherent parts of the film is the action scenes.
So the official The Witcher Twitter accounts did say it's official that Henry Cavill is leaving and Liam Hemsworth is replacing him for season 4.
As the same character?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. So you can actually take a character and recast them?
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
God, I wonder why Kevin Feige doesn't seem to fucking understand that.
Well, he did once with Terrence Howard.
Yeah. Oh, he did it too with Harrison Ford now.
Yep.
You know, but not Wakanda. No, we can't do that one.
You can recast supporting characters,
there's
but not
such
your
a
main
thing
characters.
of being so pro-race, you become racist. Keith, tell me I'm wrong, buddy.
No.
Yeah, see, he can't do it. It's not because he's not capable of doing it. It's because he's high right now and he doesn't have the words. He's so high above Earth. No, you're high above Earth. What did you think I meant? I love that song.
He's so
lovely. That is your theme now. Whenever you're above the planet, I want Mags to sing it. I want Mags to sing that, record it, and play it whenever you come on.
From Tal Bachman, whose dad was a member of a classic rock band. So
yeah.
Bachman Turner Overdrive, I think.
Yep.
BTO, that's right. And they got their name. Do you remember? Oh wait, I'm thinking of Stephen King. Stephen King got his name Bachman when he was from Bachman Turner Overdrive. I went back. Feige just released Wakanda's seating chart. Oh god damn it! I'm reading that. Put it back up.
Sorry, Gringos.
Sorry, Gringos didn't make the cut.
Oh no! The tragedy of not seeing Wakanda Forever.
Oh, I'm so disappointed. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just put it this way. This is the new updated outro for all shows. Is going to address it. Tickets to the whites.
No, he's going to do it for the black people, actually.
Push the end button, Gary. Matt Vader wants the show to end. Before I can do it, yes, Keith.
Make the show end in the back end, Gary.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Pop Culture Minefield. If you've enjoyed the show, please make sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell icon for updates on our shows and channels.
So if Gary is walking funny next week, it means he met up with Cavell.
As well as letting us know if there's something you'd like us to cover in a future
I'm going to
episode.
tell you that if Superman
Don't forget that you can become a member of Pop Culture Minefield now. Make sure to visit our membership page and merch store at popcultureminefield.com.
How many closets are you in, Gary?
On Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch.
You can't see me.
Because I just want you to know that I love you no matter how many closets you're in.
Did you fire me?
That's all, folks.